It is a beautiful afternoon in Spartan Stadium in San Jose, California for the inaugural Silicon Valley Football Classic with Air Force against Fresno State. The coaches at Air Force, Fisher DeBerry, has been the man the last 16 years. He has led the Falcons to 14 winning seasons in that time and 11 bowl games. At Fresno State, Pat Hill was the offensive line coach for the Bulldog legend Jim Sweeney in the late 80s. Then went off to the NFL before coming back to the San Joaquin Valley and taking Fresno State to bowl games the last 2 seasons. Well, Air Force won the toss and deferred. Fresno State will receive Dave Adams, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, will kick off to Dante Marsh and Charles Smith. It is Smith at the 1-yard line. Smith with great speed out past the 30-yard line. Fresno State's quarterback is David Carr. Good size, 6'3", 220. He's out of Bakersfield, California. Went to Stockdale High School, and he threw for almost 2,400 yards this year. He has great line to protect him. Kevin Jordan could be an All-American, 6'5", 300. They average 315 across the front. Gaines, Smith, Rodney Wright were all injured this year. They are 100% healthy, and they can run. This is Paris Gaines, and Paris up to the 32-yard line where he is taken down by Zach Johnson. Air Force defensively not that big across their defensive line. They give up 35 pounds per man. But watch Justin Pendry, who might be the best tackle since Chad Hennings. The linebackers, Zanotti and Palmer in the middle. Excellent. Corine Nelson is their blitz linebacker. Watch for the corners. Crawley and Duffy must play well because Fresno State's wide receivers can fly. Derek Ward now the running back for Paris Gaines. And Carr to the air. Bernard Berrien close to a first down. I believe he will be a yard shy. 3rd and 1. Gain of 7.
Well, you'd expect that right there out of David Carr, looking for one of those small receivers, and right there picking up a nice gain, creating a short 3rd down.
Yeah, and I like what Fresno State is trying to do, but Air Force really turned the cards on them. They're normally a 3-4 team. They start off with 4 defensive linemen to start this game, so they're throwing a little wrench into Fresno's blocking scheme.
Well, they'll leave Derek Ward in the game, and they will run Ward, and he slams the middle but does not get it. Justin Pendry, C.J. Zanotti right there to straighten up Derek Ward.
And it's all about the middle of the offensive line. And that defensive front, they get off the ball quickly. We talked about, sure, Fresno State outweighs them by 30 pounds, but who's the quicker team? And on short yardage situations, whoever gets off the ball quicker is going to make the stop. That time, Air Force in the backfield of Fresno State.
And there's the Falcon, determined to get the offense started. The eye of the Falcon, and
offense. Dead ball, personal foul, defense, penalties offset, 4th down.
A referee this afternoon, Steve Uchek. Penalties on both sides, offsetting. It'll be a punting situation for the Bulldogs.
You check, we check. Either way, offsetting penalties.
But I guess the guys like each other, huh?
Well, they have had, what, 5-6 weeks, and they have been chomping at the bit to hit somebody. Here is Jason Simpson. He will be punting that football to Scott McKay. McKay will handle it at the 35. There is a flag down, and McKay goes out of bounds near the 38-yard line.
I think the flag right there, Scotty McKay made a nice reception of that punt while in the air, but there was a Fresno State defender within that 2-yard halo. I believe that may be the flag called on Fresno State.
We have a halo violation on the kicking team. Penalties decline. 1st down.
So it will give Mike Thiessen an opportunity to start his offense. He is the 6-foot senior from Modesto, California. Seems like half the city of Modesto is here to watch their favorite son, played at Johansson High School. Football and baseball star at Air Force. And Thiessen will throw on 1st down. It is incomplete, intended for Scotty McKay. Thiessen, only 6 feet tall, but runs the option beautifully, leads the team in rushing and passing. He will be protected by Matt Dayock, the center. Ben Miller is one of the rare junior captains. That spells his leadership. Calario Brown and Scotty McKay average 6 yards per carry. Scott Becker 5 yards per carry, and the wide receiver Fleming 18 yards per catch. Well, they give it to the fullback, and there is Alan Harper. This young man, one of the best defensive linemen in the country. He goes 6'2", 267 to Beatty Lockhart. Right next to him, number 99, also goes 300 pounds. The linebackers, Tim Skipper, captain in the middle, over 90 tackles. Orlando Huff leads the team in tackles and everything. The safeties, McGill and Fox, must play well defending the option. Alan Harper with his 15th tackle behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long, and that is a situation Air Force wants to stay away from. They throw underneath, and this is Brian Labasco. First down and out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Well, Air Force wanted to stay away from 3rd and long, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 11, and they come up with plenty.
You know, you watch the screen, you see what happens after the play, but it's what happens before. You get the nice blocking, you get a good lane. Labasco just has a clear lane to run in. When you get that blocking, it's the same as blocking at the line of scrimmage. You want to open up an alley like Vince Lombardi talked about. Look at that alley for that guy to run down.
Now from the 28, Nate Beard, the fullback. Thiessen changes the play. Here's the option. McKay for a couple.
And that play right there is just Mike Thiessen checking at the line of scrimmage, electing to go into the short sideline with Scotty McKay. And really, you know, we've talked about the fullback and the quarterback being such keys to this offense. The fullback, when you see their numbers, when they rush over 100 yards collectively, they'll rotate in Scotty Becker and Nate Beard, and they're really a bit of a clone at fullback, but they're 10-0 the last 10 times that a fullback position has rushed it for over 100 yards.
Timeout called by Air Force. Thiessen will head to the sideline with 11:56 remaining in the first quarter, but Air Force in Fresno State territory.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconf.com.
Welcome to Transmegala, 268th floor, Information Services Division.
Yes?
We're from Luftgart. We provide enterprise IT consulting.
T?
ERP, CRM, and ASP management.
K?
24/7 apps hosting.
I already have one company for every application my division needs.
How is that possible?
I have Quest.
Communications to change everything. Ride the light. Quest.
Got to go, got to get you, got to go. Got to go, got to get you, got to go.
All the red in the stands for the Bulldogs, all the blue for Air Force. This is the Silicon Valley Football Classic. Steve Visiak, Tom Ramsey, James Lofton, Eric Clemens with you here in San Jose, California. A beautiful afternoon for college football. The temperature 56 degrees. A lot of fog early this morning, but it has cleared. And this is the quarterback, the senior from Modesto, California, Mike Thiessen, on 2nd and 7. Looking for Ryan Fleming.
was he open. Ryan Fleming just streaking down the middle of the field and right between the two safeties, McGill and Vernon Fox. And Mike Thiessen, I'm sure, is going to hope he'd love to have that one back. Take a look at the quarterback keys for Mike Thiessen. Get in the right play, take care of the football at all times, make great decisions, and of course, the Air Force mantra, be a leader.
Because their coach told us the offense is really easy for everyone except the quarterback. Thiessen, option, he'll keep it. And he is banged and hit hard at the 20-yard line, shy of a first down by about 2.
I think James will tell you, nothing in football is quite easy, especially you got to run in between the tackles sometimes. And Mike Thiessen, I'll tell you, he'll take it. He's optioning that man right at the line of scrimmage. He disappears. Thiessen ends up taking it under his shoulder, and he'll duck in and take it up the field. He rushed for over 700 yards this year.
I asked Thiessen about running to his left. Did he ever think about protecting that throwing arm? He said, hey, I never even thought about it.
Here is Dave Adams from 37 yards away. Long enough and perfect. And Air Force takes the early lead in the Silicon Valley Football Classic, 3-0 over the Fresno State Bulldogs. From 37, Adams is dead, solid, perfect.
It's a place where cowboys still roam the range, where falcons soar and cougars prowl. It's a legendary place where the ram and the wolf are equals, and the spirit of the rebel is joined by the hearts of ancient warriors. It's a place where winning or losing is not as important as where you play the game. The Mountain West Conference.
Beyond the Glory takes you into the lives of sports' biggest stars. Deion Sanders was a superstar who had the world at his feet.
My thing was having sex with many women.
Until his demons chased him down.
And I got in that car and drove off that cliff.
This is the Deion Sanders you never knew. Beyond the Glory premieres January 7th on Fox Sports Net.
Şimdi güzel şehrimiz Diyarbakır'a hoş geldiniz. Evet, yarışmacımız Yaşar yürüyor. Yaşar hazırlanıyor. Mükemmel bir atlayış. Atladı. Çok güzel bir atlayış. Herkes şaşkın. Atlayıştı. Evet, omuz ve baş sallama. Evet, ve Yaşar görünüyor.
Happy holidays from Fox Sports Net.
Robert Frost must be a Bulldog fan. Look at that poem. Bow, wow, wow, yippee-yo-yay.
Bow, wow, wow, yippee-yo,
trying to make it a good day. Pat Hill, terrific football coach, and Fisher DeBerry. He has had a winning record 14 of his 16 years at Air Force, but he says #1 goal every year is to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy. Over Army, over Navy, they have done it 10 times in his 16 years. A fumble on the kickoff return picked up by Dante Marsh, and Dante is to the 19-yard line. Fresno State will start in poor field position. Only a 5-yard return. Verizon has been presented first and 10 all season long on Fox Sports Net College Football. Verizon, making the world of communications a whole lot simpler. Bulldogs this year at 7-4, 6-2 in the Western Athletic Conference. Air Force 8-3, 5-2 in the Mountain West. They finished in second place. Last time these two schools faced each other, 1997, Bulldogs won by 3. David Carr looking deep. Fires it. Intercepted. Joe Bulow. And Bulow to the 36-yard line.
David Carr getting flushed out of the pocket. That Air Force defense coming after him. Play action. He sets up. All of a sudden, he flushes left. That's just good execution on the part of the Air Force defense. And then number 21, Joel Ballou, comes up with it. That's just forcing the ball right there. David Carr told us yesterday, he said, hey, we have to be disciplined on offense right there. A lack of discipline.
No question. The reverse, Scott McKay eludes one Bulldog and is close to a first down.
You know, when I watch David Carr on that interception, he throws across his body. But as good an athlete as he is, the bench press, the squat, all the strength, at that point, out of the pocket with a lot of grass in front of you, take off, run, make one of those small defensive backs pay for you running the football down the field.
Exactly, James. He's a big kid, 6'3", 220 pounds, and he's got great speed. I mean, pull it down and pick up maybe a first down there.
On 2nd and 2, they may go fullback Scott Becker, number 44. Nope, Thiessen will go reverse again and fake the reverse and throw it to McKay, and McKay will score the touchdown. That's taking a page out of the movie Stripes, a razzle-dazzle.
That's a great call by Chuck Peterson, the offensive coordinator, getting the ball to Scotty McKay. And Scotty McKay grew up a couple blocks from here, right near Spartan Stadium. He played his last high school game here. Now he's playing his last game as an Air Force Falcon in the same stadium.
And in his last high school game, Bellarmine Prep, the school he played for, lost to St. Francis. Adams for the point after touchdown and a 10-0 Air Force lead. Up and good. Mike Thiessen and Fisher DeBerry have to be pleased with what they have seen as Thiessen throws for touchdown number 14 this year.
Called a fairway, Jane. Let's see if you can hit it.
So, liking the new job?
So far,
whoa,
so good.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I got to get to the airport.
Oh, well, you know, we could check your flight from here. 3 hours delayed.
You know, I should probably get back and check the inventory.
Well, you know.
You can do it right here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you think that thing can help me find my swing?
No.
He's been voted the most powerful on-air personality in sports. Welcome to the jungle. Jim Rome, The Last Word. Weeknights at 6:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Cox Digital Cable. What's it say about you?
It says, I love news. 24 hours a day, I want the latest breaking news, stock market, and financial updates. Plus some home improvement tips, too.
With over 200 channels, Cox Digital Cable gives you more in-depth news and information. It's loaded with top stories and business reports from around the world and helpful advice for around the house.
Can't resist those cooking shows, either.
Cox Digital Cable. Now you're living.
Finally, I've got it. Over 200 channels, digital picture, digital sound, all my local TV stations, and up to 50 uncut commercial-free movies every night. Wow. Oh, and sports, I got your sports. We got college football, basketball, NBA, NHL, and the best thing is, I don't need this.
Well, that's why so many people love Cox Digital Cable.
Cox Digital Cable. No dish to buy, no equipment to maintain. So call Cox today.
Now Dave Adams to kick off for the 3rd time in this game. Charles Smith healthy again after suffering ankle problems earlier in the 2000 season. Smith to the 29-yard line. So David Carr will get his 3rd opportunity to drive the offense. And give me your scouting report on David.
David Carr, we know all about his physical skills. He's big, he's fast, he's got a great pocket presence, although when he slid left that time, he didn't make all the throws because he ended up throwing across his body. But here's a guy who's a prototypical guy for the next level, 6'3", 220 pounds. And right now, I think if you're Fresno State, you might elect to get away from pounding the football right now. They've only run 4 plays, 2 runs and 2 passes, and they're down 10-0.
Charles Smith goes in motion. They will run again. Derek Ward, and Ward is up past the 30, near the 33-yard line.
I still like what Richard Bell, the defensive coordinator from Air Force, has done this ballgame. This is a team that lined up in the 3-4 exclusively all year. You have 6 weeks to prepare for the bowl game. You find out you're going to play. You get 20 days of practice. They go to the 3-4. What it's done, Fresno State, they haven't planned on blocking against the 3-4. They watch that 4-3, all those little linebackers. They said, we can easily take this, guys. Now they face a 4-3.
2nd and 6. High formation. They run the fullback again.
Okay, fellas, it's all
and it is
done.
Paris Gaines up near the 1st down. He needs to get past the 39, and there's Richard Bell, who is their defensive coordinator. They run the Eagle 50, and James, you're talking about the lineup 7 to try and disguise and take away the reads by the offense.
Yeah, and one thing we've done, they lined up in the 4-3. Now they've shifted back to the 3-4. So they've done a very good job of it. And Duffy, one of the big guys, and he's physical. You don't think about these guys as being big because you always think they need to squeeze into a plane later on in their career. But these guys are strong, weight room strong.
Carr in trouble. He is sacked to the 29-yard line. 4th down. Corine Nelson, who leads the team in sacks with 8.
Corine Nelson, he comes in with 7 sacks. Take a look. He's going to come off the edge, come inside. Ends up just chasing down David Carr. Came in with 7 sacks. And you know what? When you look at Corine Nelson and you hear Richard Bell talk, he says, hey, we are powerful. They're not the biggest or the fastest team. They're very powerful. Corine Nelson also has 9 career blocks, so keep an eye on him.
It's gone!
McKay will watch it bounce near the 30-yard line, and it is finally down there at the 30 by the Bulldogs. 41 yards on the punt. Well, Fresno State, they're making their 2nd trip to Spartan Stadium, beat San Jose State, a very good football team, 37-6 5 weeks ago. But the Western Athletic Conference has not won a bowl game. In co-champions Texas Christian and Texas El Paso, the only other WAC teams in bowl games, lost their respective games. Meantime, the Mountain West Conference, they've won them both. UNLV, Colorado State, both won their bowl games. And Air Force trying to make it 3-0 for the Mountain West. They will run the fullback, Nate Beard, and Beard out near the 34-yard line. Hey, are you ready for an Olbermann fix? Sunday Night Sports just got a whole lot better as the Keith Olbermann Evening News airs tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Net. Each Sunday night, Keith provides us with his unique perspective on the world of sports, wrapping up the week's events and taking a look forward as to what's ahead. The Keith Olbermann Evening News tonight at 10, only on Fox Sports Net. 2nd and 7. They will run McKay. McKay scored their first touchdown, and Scotty is up to the 38-yard line and tackled by Nick Burley, the outside linebacker. I love guys who go to school and they compete in combat familiarization. That is Scott McKay. Look at the number of plays and yards for Air Force, and McKay has gotten most of them.
You know, I asked Scotty McKay the other day at practice, so I said, hey, do you want to fly? And he goes, heck no, I don't want, I get sick up there.
Then on his training mission, threw up for 2 hours straight.
And he still went to Air Force.
Okay, fellas, it's over.
Air Force gets the first down as Nate Beard, the second half of that two-headed fullback combination, Scott Becker and Nate Beard. Together, they've gone for over 1,000 yards.
So how physical it is, you can just listen to it in the middle of the pit.
Okay, fellas, it's over.
And then they have to have the official tell them it's over, because they don't want to stop just because the whistle blew.
I'm convinced some guys don't ever hear the whistle.
We may see this afternoon. These guys have waited 6 weeks to play football. In motion, Leotis Palmer. Palmer is tied up, brought down by Orlando Huff. Tim Skipper is over there as well, number 51.
And again, that's Mike Thiessen checking at the line of scrimmage. He goes up on every play Chuck Peterson, the offensive coordinator, gives him. He's able to check at the line of scrimmage.
Man, Orlando Huff, number 49. You look at this guy in his uniform. He's everything that you'd want from a football player. He led the team in tackles, 16 tackles for a loss, 10 sacks. Orlando Huff, all-conference last year, all-conference again this year. And a guy who will be doing his Sunday playing in the fall also.
But even Coach Pat Hill said he needs to play well because he did not play that well against Rice, another option team. Thiessen to the air. Ryan Fleming, it is broken up beautifully. Lawrence Deck, the senior from Calgary, Alberta. They are starting Deck over Tyree Sams because he is a senior. They feel he deserves it, and he is a better run supporter than Tyree Sams.
Well, sure enough. Always think about matchups. Deck at 5'10", coming up over the top over Chris Jessup, who's 6'5", and you have to really go vertical because you can't get your body involved. Does a nice job in getting that right arm in there and knocking the ball away.
And just because it's 3rd and 4 doesn't mean Air Force will throw. They will this time, though. The screen. Scott McKay, very close to a first down, then fumbles, but I believe he was out of bounds prior to. And that is something that Air Force never does. They will not put the ball on the field. 4 fumbles this year, Tom, and 647 carries.
I'm not convinced, though, that Scotty McKay didn't fumble on purpose.
You can't fumble forward and gain yardage.
That's
he's
right.
trying to stick that ball out there. Very generous spot from the Big 12 officiating crew. All the Big 12 officials, they flew in here, and so they figured that their pilots at some time had been Air Force trained.
I thought you were going to say they were suffering from a little jet lag.
No, they had smooth flights coming in for this ball game.
They're just happy they're not on the East Coast. I know that.
Thiessen. Options. Brown barely back to the line of scrimmage, but Mike was really hit. Orlando Huff with that penetration.
You think about great linebackers, the thing they have to be able to do is to pursue down the line of scrimmage. But if you're a good offensive line, what you do, you get guys off, you slip. You don't always block the defensive lineman in front of you. You go to that next level.
Well, and James, the coach, Artie Gigantino, said it before the game. Fresno State has to stay on their feet. They've got guys coming after and trying to cut block them. You got to stay up. You got to stay up on your feet for that.
Leotis Palmer. This time he fumbles the football forward, and this is not like Air Force at all. They are a very sure-handed football team, and twice on this possession, they have laid that ball on the green. 10 yards in the carry for Leotis Palmer.
Well, a couple weeks ago, right there, you see 647 rushes this season, only 4 fumbles. When I first went down this year, a couple weeks ago, to watch Air Force practice for this bowl game, I was amazed at their efficiency and the process that Coach Fisher DeBerry emphasizes during practice. The ball never hit the ground. Not a pass, not a loose ball. They had the ball off the ground the whole time. Very impressive.
No, you have to go back to combat survival school if you fumble. This is Nate Beard. Boy, Nate will get after it. You know, that is one thing their coach Fisher DeBerry said. We will not be outfought or out-spirited.
You know, it all happens up front. We can talk about the quarterbacks and all that, everything that we want. But watch these offensive linemen, Miller, Hildebrand, Dayak, Joseph. These guys are getting after it, and they're winning the battle up front. And you would think that the bigger unit, the guys in the red, would have the advantage. But Air Force guys, they don't read press clippings.
No, I think it's the guy at the controls, so Mike Thiessen getting to the right play, and that was a great punishing run by the fullback, Nate Beard.
Thiessen throws, almost intercepted by Tim Skipper. The smallest linebacker in college football at 5'7".
Tim Skipper, the heart and soul of that defense. Watch him, number 51 right there. He's going to try and stay with the tight end, Jessup. The ball just really underthrown that time, and you'd love to get it over a guy's head that's 5'7".
Well, they didn't know Skipper could jump. And you figure that jump would have almost touched the net on that one. Not the rim, maybe the net.
And I believe the left side moved Chris Jessup, a tight end for Air Force.
Fresno State has...
snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Second and 15, James.
Fresno State has to do something. We always talk about playmakers on offense. Now the playmakers defensively have to arise for Fresno State, because Air Force has them rocked back on their heels. They don't know, are they going right? Are they going left? Are they running reverses, play action? Air Force has this game under control. Somebody from Fresno State has to step up and make a big play defensively.
And Tom, you were talking in pregame that likely has to be a safety, McGill or Fox.
They have to have the recognition.
Oh, on the draw, it is read beautifully by Vernon Fox, one of the safeties you were talking about.
Well, it's incumbent upon the safeties. They got to make the run-pass recognition. Kevin Coyle, watch Fox. He's going to unload on Brown in the backfield. Colario Brown, it's a little delayed draw. Vernon Fox comes in, brings the hammer, finally makes that play that James just alluded to. Those safeties got to step up and start bringing the lumber on some of these running backs of Air Force.
Third down, 17. Last third and long, they got the first down. And they throw for Scott McKay, who will not get the first down, but he gets about 10 back. Before the hit is made by Devin Banks and Lawrence Deck, number 36.
Yeah, I think, Tom, big question here. You're down at sea level. And you got a great kicker in Dave Adams. He's hit a couple over 50 yards, but you reduce it down, and the ball doesn't travel as far. He's going to really have to nail this to get it.
Well, he has hit 5 in his career over 50 yards, tying the record of the great Dave Lawson from Shawnee Mission North High School in Kansas City.
And I was speaking to the kicking coach, Jeff Hayes, before the game. He said he has more than enough leg to get to this one.
Adams hammers it. Well, he sure does. How about that? He has now made 21 of 26 field goals this year. And Air Force has taken a commanding 13-0 lead in the first quarter.
What'd you get for 26? C. 68 and 74. C and C. 57. C.
Pencils down.
Right down the center. Not so great for taking tests, but great for collect calls. Dial 1-800-CALLATT and you can save big bucks.
How'd you do on the test?
Oh. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Family cookouts.
Which you don't attend anymore.
I work Sundays.
Introducing Campbell's Chunky Grilled Classics.
Air Force with a touchdown, 2 field goals, a 13-0 lead. Fresno State was a 1-point favorite coming into this game. Fisher DeBerry. Well, they went 41 yards. Adams with his second field goal of the game and his 21st this year. Now Dave kicks off. Charles Smith has it get lost at the 1-yard line. Smith is mugged at the 12. Well, Eric Clemens was talking about special teams. Right now, an A+ for Air Force. Tomorrow, the 65th Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic continues its storied tradition on Fox Sports as number 11 Kansas State takes on number 21 Tennessee at 11 o'clock Eastern. Bring in the new year with exciting college football on your local Fox affiliate. Tom Brenneman, Dave Lapham, Tim Green will be there to broadcast it for you. Casey Clausen, outstanding quarterback for Tennessee, against Jonathan Beasley. Threw and ran for over 3,000 yards this year. Right now, flag on the kickoff, and Pat Hill does not want to go back any further because he has started with poor field position on each of their first 4 possessions.
And you know what's going to happen to Fresno State. The seeds of doubt will start to sink into this ball club. You know, we practiced hard. what's not going right? Are the coaches not getting us in the right stuff? Or the starters not? You know, there are backup guys who think they should be in the ball game right now when things start to go bad.
And they already have plenty of seeds in the San Joaquin Valley, which is the raisin capital of the world. On the reverse, Rodney Wright. And Wright held onto the football as he was slammed by Curt Duffy, and now he has fumbled. Glisson comes up with it, and Air Force has taken control.
You know, it couldn't be more true what James said a moment ago about execution and the lack of execution. 2 turnovers of Fresno State. That's a costly one in the red zone. I tell you, it puts Air Force in a great position.
Yeah, he's got the ball in the wrong arm. The ball in the right arm, it gets stripped away. You'd want to have that ball in the left arm so that you can defend yourself. Ken Duffy, number 4, does a nice job, and the ball just ends up in the lap of Gleason.
Interesting. Pat Hill calling his team together on the sideline. Right now, Pat Hill said to us, execution fuels emotion. Right now, it's the point you brought up.
They're on E.
It is the lack of execution right now that's just hurting them.
Well, they have given Air Force brilliant field position at the Fresno State 14. You see the V on the back of those helmets. That's for the valley, the San Joaquin Valley, one of the richest agricultural areas in the world. It goes from Stockton all the way south to Bakersfield. 3 million people in that area, and Fresno State has 31 of their athletes from the valley. They're proud of their Bulldogs, but they need Pat Hill to give them something to be proud about. It is Air Force and Fresno State in the inaugural Silicon Valley Football Classic. Steve Physiok, James Lofton, Tom Ramsey, and Eric Clemens with you in San Jose at Spartan Stadium. Just about every single seat taken, and Fresno State needs to play some defense. They're passing more than they're running for, and that is unusual.
If you're going to crowd the line of scrimmage with 9 guys, you're going to get burnt by the pass.
Thiessen changes the play at the line. Double wing. They'll run the fullback Scott Becker.
James, what do you think about Pat Hill calling the team together on the sideline there?
You know, I wish he had done it before the offense had gone out on the field. And a reverse is not a risky play. Sure, you're thinking you might lose 4 or 5 yards because of the exchange, but you're also thinking you're going to pop a big run. The last thing in your mind is that your star wide receiver is going to turn the ball over. And it's not a big hit, just a little careless, not holding the ball tight enough to the body. Ball pops out.
Thiessen with time. End zone touchdown. Scott McKay with his second score of the afternoon.
It all starts with the quarterback center exchange right there. Thiessen up under center. Dayock. They move the pocket left. He swings back around. Scotty McKay open in the corner of the end zone. The hero, the hometown hero, puts some more points on the board for the Falcons.
I like what Air Force is doing. They are making Fresno State defend every inch of the field. You talk about a vertical stretch, a horizontal stretch. These guys are getting stretched to death, and I guess the chart tells us when you're up 19-0, you want to go up 21-0, so they're going for 2.
Fresno State this year average giving up 19 points per game. Somebody moved. Thiessen's going to play it anyway, but yellow flags all over the place. And they have already given up 19 points in the first quarter with still 2 minutes to go.
James, a moment ago, is it time for Fresno State to go vertical with their pass offense once they get the ball back?
I would think that Fresno State at this point, number one, they need to start getting first downs. And then they need to get in a situation where they can move the ball quickly.
Offside, defense. Half the distance to go, repeat the try.
You're right, because last night the Air Force team went out and watched a movie, Vertical Limit. And Mike Thiessen, the quarterback, was hoping it would put a thought into his offensive coordinator, Chuck Peterson's mind, that maybe they'd stretch the field and go with the vertical game.
Well, the other thing Air Force doesn't want to do when they get the ball back is become conservative.
McKay dives. He did not get in. 19-0 though. Air Force has the lead. Fresno won 7 games this year and played well in their last contest here at Spartan Stadium, but they're struggling this afternoon.
miss work. That's why I have that supplemental insurance.
What supplemental insurance? Aflac. It's one that pays you cash for things like lost pay and other expenses. What one? Aflac. Just ask about it at work, all right? What did you say it was?
Aflac!
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Welcome to Transmegala, 268th floor, Information Services Division.
Yes?
We're from Luftgart. We provide enterprise IT consulting.
T?
ERP, CRM, and ASP management.
Cake?
24/7 apps hosting.
I already have one company for every application my division needs.
How is that possible?
I have Quest.
Communications to change everything. Ride the light. Quest.
Discipline, attention to detail. Even the band of Air Force shows it. It is 19-0. Falcons leading the Bulldogs of Fresno State. Dave Adams has been busy. A couple of field goals, a lot of kickoffs. 2 plays, 14 yards, the second turnover. Charles Smith, who fumbled one on the kickoff, but recovered it and only brought it back to the 10. Now we'll try again from the 15. Smith trying to get outside. And they will start their offense near the 28-yard line. What must Fresno State do now? We saw Pat Hill talk to his troops, rally them around the 40-yard line.
You got to get some continuity going. Sure, you can still run the ball. We have 46 minutes to play in this ball game. They can score points. Need to score points in bunches. They need to move the ball. They need 7 points out of this drive. Then they need to get on the field and play some defense.
We saw the St. Louis Rams almost come from 24 down with 10 minutes to go in the game yesterday. The Saints would prevail. Long time left in this game. David Carr with pressure, and he is sacked back at the 26-yard line.
And you can look at the possessions for Fresno State today. Punt, interception, and fumble. 2 turnovers. And look at it. 1 play drive, 1 play drive. That's not going to get it. And they need to erase that out of their memory. Just like we can erase it from the screen, get that out of their memory. But this is the ball club right now that is in struggle mode.
And David Carr has to get them out of it.
And I think right now you look for your tight end, Jeremy Johnson, Long Beach Poly product out of Southern California.
Instead, they go Rodney Wright. It is incomplete. 3rd down and 12. Andy Ludwig is the offensive coordinator for Fresno State.
Here's Andy. Andy's got to be a little frustrated now. He was used to the throwing offenses of Portland State, Boise State. Came into Coach Pat Hill's offense. They really try to stay balanced 50-50, but James, we talked about it before the game and on the field today. When you got great fast receivers, send them up the field.
They have 4 wide receivers. They run the screen to Paris Gaines, and Gaines will get the first down and more. Paris inside the 30-yard line. Paris Gaines is gone. Third down and 12, and you get 73 and 6.
Great execution by Fresno State. All the big guys, all those guys are around 300 pounds, they're out in front of that screen running. And you know what, a nice call by Ludwig, because he's going to complete that pass. You're going to gain something. Chances are you may gain 12, get the first down. They didn't want another negative play.
And Rams, did you like the way they spread the field with the wide receivers?
They spread the field. They did send everybody up the field vertically, but then they snuck out Paris Gaines, and great call by Andy Ludwig.
Hassan Nasbaruhov will go for the point after touchdown. Right through. Fresno State back in the game. Cuts it to 12 on Paris Gaines. 73-yard score.
Paris Gaines, we knew he could catch the ball, but a screen on 3rd down. Watch, they'll send these guys all up the field, but this is the guy who makes a play. He's going to come out and hide behind the line of scrimmage over here, and then you just see Carr. He looks downfield, invites the rushers in, and then watch the downfield blocking. The linemen are down there. Ahmad Body, number 61, throwing some blocks. Watch him bust on Matt Palmer right here. He's going to drop him, and then it's all Paris Gaines. Another great block. Who's that? That's the wide receiver, the little guy on Corine Nelson.
Charles Smith, number 18.
Boy,
but
Charles
Gaines,
Smith, great play.
We remarked when we saw him at practice on Friday, we didn't know he was that big. 6'2", 225 pounds, and this kid is built. And you know what? John Suttle, his running back coach, said he's our finesse back. I don't want to see the power back then if this guy's a finesse back.
Well, David Carr has his team back in it. This is a big game for Paris Gaines because last time he played in a bowl game, December 18th, 1999, he ripped his ACL and was gone much of the offseason, missed spring ball, and was not completely healthy coming into this year. Well, Carr got him the football, and he takes it 73 yards. Here comes Air Force right back. Valerio Brown out near the 35-yard line. 30 yards on the return.
Well, Air Force hasn't been on their side of the 50 for quite some time. I think they're even a little surprised that they received a kickoff. But right there, Fresno State did exactly what they had to do, James. You said you had to go down and score. They made that drive a little shorter, and they had great execution on that 3rd down play.
You know, it's funny for a team that prides itself on special teams, you give up a play like that, that's a little deflating after the big screen pass.
But
now the Bulldogs need a stop.
Now they got to step up on defense. That front 7, really front 8. Safeties have to get involved.
Fullback.
Okay, guys.
Nate Beard for about 5. That is the final play of the first quarter. And when the ball game started, we thought they would be running, both teams pounding each other. Instead, they have put that football in the air. Mike Thiessen with 2 touchdown passes, both to running back Scott McKay, and they get Fresno State back in it. Paris goes 73 yards. Pass from David Carr.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconference.com.
Perennial powers rock the Cotton Bowl on Fox as Tennessee butts heads with Kansas State. The Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl, New Year's Day on Fox.
He was everywhere. It's him.
Everybody just kind of looks at me and thinks they've got a screw loose or something.
Get away from me, get away from me.
You are a sick human being. Pete, do you still gamble?
Sure, but not on sports.
You're a marquee player, but you have never won Jack.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that dislike you.
What? The Last Word, weeknights at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net. It is all good.
Beyond the Glory takes you into the lives of sports' biggest stars. Deion Sanders was a superstar who had the world at his feet.
My thing was having sex with many women.
Until his demons chased him down.
And I got in that car and drove off that cliff.
This is the Deion Sanders you never knew. Beyond the Glory premieres January 7th on Fox Sports Net.
College Football Saturday Special Edition, the Silicon Valley Football Classic here in San Jose, California. Both commissioners are here from the Mountain West Conference, Craig Thompson, Carl Benson from the Western Athletic Conference, and Carl very, very responsible for putting this bowl game together. Thiessen will keep it. Mike gets the first down past midfield to the 48-yard line where Nick Burley brings him down.
You know, Steve, you mentioned those commissioners, Craig Thompson, Carl Benson. They're two of the finest commissioners in the country. And I tell you, you know, when the Mountain West broke up, it was unfortunate. Air Force still part of that Mountain West, and actually the newly created Mountain West, it broke off from the old WAC, and Carl Benson has done a great job keeping Fresno State and a lot of teams very successful in that Western Athletic Conference.
They did have success this year. TCU won it, UTEP was second, and then Fresno State third. Thiessen, Palmer down the sideline. Leotis finally knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
When we talked to Fresno State yesterday, they said we want Thiessen to keep the ball in his hands as long as possible. This is a quick pitch. He gets the ball out to Leotis Palmer. Palmer does a great job in tight roping. And you look at a lot of the backs for Air Force. A lot of guys are small, maybe not as fast as some of the big-time backs. But Leotis Palmer, the stiff arm, the move, this guy can run with anybody around the country with that type of speed down the sideline.
Now first and goal from the 3-yard line. They run the fullback. He is to the 1-yard line. It's either Becker or Beard.
Leotis Palmer is really the back of the future for Air Force, but right here you look at the blocking downfield. If you're in the Air Force on offense, you got to be able to block. Ricky Amazaga, number 80, got a great block, and boy, Denning, number 93, really put the hammer on Leotis Palmer, but he just popped right up.
Now second and goal from the 1. Thiessen leaps the top, and he is in for the touchdown. Fresno State knew that Air Force could run the football. Third in the nation, 295 yards rushing per game. And they have been extreme so far in the first half, now with 25 points.
Hey, James, you were up in the stands before the game, up in that Thiessen group. How many of them are there up there?
157. And Dad and still counting. Steve told me, you know, none of this is government money. They've maxed out the credit cards for this ball game. I said it's probably worth it. He said, you bet it's worth it.
It's gone.
Well, Mom and Dad, Steve and Barbara were there, and Scott and Melissa, his brother and sister, and his fiancee Leanne was here. Here is a touchdown by Mike Thiessen, and this is his 11th touchdown rushing the football this year.
It's a place where cowboys still roam the range, where falcons soar and cougars prowl. It's a legendary place where the ram and the wolf are equals, and the spirit of the rebel is joined by the hearts of ancient warriors. It's a place where winning or losing is not as important as where you play the game. The Mountain West Conference.
Finally, I've got it. Over 200 channels, digital picture, digital sound, all my local TV stations, and up to 50 uncut commercial-free movies every night. Wow. Oh, and sports, I got your sports. We got college football, basketball, NBA, NHL, and the best thing is, I don't need this.
Well, that's why so many people love Cox Digital Cable.
Cox Digital Cable. No dish to buy, no equipment to maintain. So call Cox today.
Television was like the internet, you probably wouldn't watch it. But what if the internet was more like TV? It is. With At Home, the internet at warp speed.
It's like instantaneous. As soon as you click onto a site, bam, it's there.
Using the same big cable that brings you television programming, you'll download up to 100 times faster than with a 28 8K modem. Call today to join more than 1 million subscribers and get the most complete internet service available for your home. Call now.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to San Jose, California. I'm Steve Physiok with James Lofton, Tom Ramsey, and Eric Clemens. You're watching the Silicon Valley Classic on Fox Sports Net as Air Force battles Fresno State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action right after this message.
Called a fairway, Jane. Let's see if you can hit it.
So, liking the new job?
So far,
Whoa.
so good.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I got to get to the airport.
Oh, well, you know, we could check your flight from here. 3 hours delayed.
You know, I should probably get back and check the inventory.
Well, you know.
You can do it right here, huh?
Hey, you think that thing can help me find my swing?
No.
Long easy 316 Delta Bravo, flight at 25 North
They get hired by companies like AT&T, GE, and Ford. They get training in over 200 real-world jobs. And they get it in the Army. That's right, the Army.
Hey, best man, time for your speech.
I remember Ted's first wedding. He knew his way around. What was the lady's name? Kathy. I feel like I know almost better than Ted.
Don't be a victim of bitter beer. Drink Keystone. America's never bitter beer. Always a great taste, never a bitter face.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Keystone, always smooth, never bitter.
आदाबर्स विक्रम शो से हम आपका स्वागत करते हैं।
दो खिलाड़ियों का नाम अरुंधति और भारत है, मगर ये देखो क्या हो रहा है। दोनों खिलाड़ी अब तैयार हैं, वो एक दूसरे के पास।
Hi, I'm Rick from Empire Glass. Let Empire Glass replace your cracked windshield and we'll still pay up to $100 of your comprehensive insurance deductible. And we'll now give you 24 free dinners to Sweet Tomatoes, the ultimate salad buffet restaurants, with any windshield replacement. So for the highest in quality windshields, including free mobile service, up to $100 off your comprehensive deductible, and 24 free dinners to Sweet Tomatoes, call Empire Glass today at 602-952-9339. When you think glass, think Empire.
Television was like the internet. You probably wouldn't watch it. But what if the internet was more like TV? It is. With At Home, the internet at warp speed.
It's like instantaneous. As soon as you click onto a site, bam, it's there.
Using the same big cable that brings you television programming, you'll download up to 100 times faster than with a 28 8K modem. Call today to join more than 1 million subscribers and get the most complete internet service available for your home. Call now.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to the Silicon Valley Classic. Air Force in control of this game so far. Just want to remind everyone, coming up on the Nissan Halftime Report, we'll have plenty of analysis of the first half with Kellen and Artie. We'll also talk about the Orange Bowl, but hey, look, I'm honest with myself. I know that everyone's coming back because they want to see Destiny's Child. They will perform right here on this stage. That's the big deal. We realize that right now. Let's send it back up to Steve Physiak. Steve?
Kevin, we disagree. We talked with Beyonce Hughes, one of Destiny's children. She said the only reason they agreed to sing here was because they had a chance to meet Artie Gigantino.
Go, Artie.
Air Force with a big lead and with the football. 6 minutes remaining first half. Scott McKay past the 40-yard line. McKay came into this game with 472 yards rushing, averaging 6 yards per carry, and he has had a terrific game early, not only running, but he's caught 2 of their touchdown passes.
I didn't believe that Air Force would be able to run the perimeter as well as they have. You look at the speed of a guy like Scotty McKay. He's quick, he's 5'8", he's only 5'6". I saw him before the game, but he gets around that corner quickly, and every time they run wide, you get excellent blocking at the point of attack from the wide receiver.
And you know what it is? It's that pitch relationship Chuck Peterson talked about. They're not pitching the ball backwards, they're pitching the ball down the line, and it's almost, it gets real close, but the execution's phenomenal.
He's going to draw. Now 2nd down and 2. Thiessen, play action. Look at the time he has. Now he'll run. He's got the first down and plenty more.
We talked about the motion that they like to use. You start with a little motion right here in the backfield, coming this way, and that's going to pull the linebackers up. Going to try and sneak Ryan Fleming behind them deep. You know, if he had stayed with Fleming just a little longer, a little more patience, Fleming pops open late.
And Tom, Kevin Coyle's one of the best defensive coordinators in college football, but their defense looks confused against this option.
I just think it's the speed that Air Force comes at you. It's numbing, I'm sure, to be on the field and have the speed of the Falcons come right at you. Take a look at that play before. James mentioned how open Ryan Fleming was.
But he was hoping that they would have had a 1 deep. They have 2 deep. He splits it late. But good decision making still by Thiessen, because don't throw the ball up for grabs. You've got a big lead. Run the ball, make something positive happen.
Oh, James, I can't believe you said that. You had been running back to the huddle. Didn't you see me?
I'm open.
What's wrong with you?
You know, all good receivers are always open.
Thiessen will keep it, and Mike forward for the first down. But Thiessen and Fleming are great friends. I mean, they say they have grown up together at the academy.
That's a good point, Steve. They came in, and really, when you come in as a freshman, it's kind of like being a rookie in the NFL.
Exactly.
You're seen and not heard.
You know, the funny thing about Fleming, though, he breaks his leg in '98, so he's out of the academy for that semester. Has a titanium rod planted in his leg. We look at all the success that he's having now. But neither one of these guys was a guaranteed success when they walked on campus. That's right. Coach said I wouldn't have given a plug nickel when they first walked out.
Well, they've got him up near the first down again at the 25-yard line, Fresno State territory. And are you ready for an Overman fix? Sunday Night Sports just got a whole lot better as the Keith Overman Evening News airs tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Net. Each Sunday night, Keith provides us with his unique perspective on the world of sports, wrapping up the week's events and taking a look forward as to what's ahead. The Keith Overman Evening News tonight at 10 only on Fox Sports Net. Another second and short for the Falcons. Hilario Brown trying to get outside. He will not. And he is tackled close to a first down, though, at the 23-yard line. They will mark him out, though, at the 25, so still 2 yards shy. But, James, you talked about Thiessen, where he was not very good. They said he was 13th out of the 14 quarterbacks they had as a freshman. And even Fisher DeBerry said he was such a good baseball player that he didn't think he would come back.
Yeah, and the other thing, when you're 13th out of 14th, I think you're thinking, well, maybe I can't make it there. But he took it as a challenge and said, I can do this. I can get this done. Fisher DeBerry saw him in some of the JV games that they played and said, this guy's pretty good. Maybe I can use it.
That's right.
Beard slamming forward, very close to the first down. You see, he just did get to that Verizon line, where it looks like it will be 1st and 10 for the Falcons.
He saw him in that JV game, and he said, Chuck Peterson, my offensive coordinator, you now have a number 3 quarterback. His name is Mike Thiessen. Boy, Nate Beard, I tell you, you're looking at the fullback there. He has to buy a size 40 pant, kind of what Lofton wears.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a 33-inch waist. He's
got the thighs,
Beard, but he's got those monster thighs.
I don't have monster thighs.
I just wish one day I'd pull a hamstring, know what it felt like.
Didn't know you had one. Thiessen, play action again, all kinds of time. And this time his tight end, Chris Jessup, can't hold on. At Thiessen hit him right in the numbers.
Boy, we talked about Thiessen's poise a moment ago. Watch how he looks off the defense. He roll right. He's looking over this way. Comes back, finds Jessup, and Jessup just flat out drops the ball. And boy, is he a good receiver, too. Big number 87 from Vacaville, California. The numbers on Thiessen so far.
He's already thrown 14 times.
14, yep.
The most
touchdowns.
he's played thrown this year is 29 against Notre Dame, his biggest air game of the year. Thiessen trying to get outside. He does against Orlando Huff. And gets to the 17-yard line. Tim Skipper on the tackle.
Mike Thiessen just making good decisions right now at the control as a quarterback for Air Force, and that's why Air Force was so effective this year. They've won a lot of games, and I'll tell you, the program, Fisher DeBerry, just demands that quarterback position creates plays, hangs on to the football, and executes. And right now, Thiessen doing just that.
And their last 3 games of the regular season, they were hot, averaging 43 points per game. They're on schedule for that and more here in the first half. 3rd and 3. Fullback. Ooh, good hit by Chiaramonte, the senior from Santa Cruz. There he is, Gioacchino Chiaramonte. He's got brothers named Giuseppe and Vito. I guess it's an Italian family.
And you don't think about a hit that tough against a guy like Beard because he has a low center of gravity at 5'10". Chiaramonte that time coming off a block and delivering a big blow.
Interesting talking about this Air Force offense. They led the Mountain West Conference in 7 of 8 offensive categories. Very short this time. So the question, do you put points on the board or do you go for it again?
Well, you can put points on the board by getting touchdowns.
They need inches.
But I also think they played so well defensively. If they don't pick this up, they have enough confidence in their defense that their defense will shut them down the rest of the half.
They have given up 1 big play, that defense. Other than that, they have absolutely stuffed Fresno State in the first 28 minutes of this game. But you're right, Tom. 1st in points per game, 1st in total offense, 1st in rushing in the Mountain West Conference. This is an impressive offense we have seen in the first half.
And Steve, when you think about it, number 3 rushing offense in the nation, following only Nebraska
and Ohio
University. Amazing. And Fisher DeBerry, they're in the top 5 every year. He's been at the helm. And
we talked to him about why the option, and he just said it gives us a better chance to compete because we don't get the great athletes. It's a tough offense to get ready for a 3-4 day period. Fresno State's had 6 weeks to get ready for it, and it's still tough. Well, coming up on the Nissan Halftime Report, Kevin Frazier, Kellen Winslow, and Artie Gigantino, and their favorite band, Destiny's Child, live here on Fox Sports Net, so stay with us. Right now, 26-7. Air Force with the lead.
It's funny, people in the stands are looking out at our set over there, and they see Kellen, Artie,
and they're waving at us.
They see those guys standing there. They go, those guys need to get out of the way so that Destiny's Child can get on the stage.
No. Can you hear the crowd? They're saying RT, RT.
Hey, Artie was afraid he wouldn't get those backstage passes. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Thiessen, 4th down and inches. The sneak. It appears that he has that 1st down. As you see, he crossed that Verizon line.
I tell you, that Verizon line has really worked out well this year. It's just a great enhancement and allows the viewers and ourselves to see how close they can actually get to that 1st down marker.
How do they paint the field that quickly?
How do they erase it? There you go. Thiessen just lunging ahead. Boy, I tell you what, Air Force plays low. Their pad level is low.
Technically perfect. Brown, not much. Brown still on his feet. Twists to the 9-yard line. We can hear that lead official about every single tackle. Okay, it's over.
You know, it's interesting about this offense because it used to be the true wishbone offense, and in 1993, just look at the total yards. Boy, I tell you, the amount of plays, over 300 yards. That's a team. Air Force has gone over 600 yards in a game twice this year, and I'm sure they'll just keep pouring it on if they have the ball in their hands.
1:20 left, 1st half. Bulldogs in trouble. Thiessen keeps it. All kinds of room. Touchdown, but a flag is down.
Defense in the neutral zone. Penalty decline. Touchdown.
Well, you're looking at the leading candidate for most valuable player of this game, Mike Thiessen. He has thrown for 2 touchdowns. He has run for 2 more.
And you believe the press clippings once you see it in person. Guy who's going to be a pilot. There's a little helicopter move right there.
Well, you know what? Reminiscent of another great quarterback, John Elway, Super Bowl 32. Mike Thiessen laying it on the line. He probably doesn't know he did a helicopter, but someone will tell him when he gets to the sideline, hey, you know what you just did? Looked great, though, man. We gave you 10s across the board.
They'll go for 2. Thiessen will throw back, and it is caught by Chris Jessup for 2. The Whirlybird. And it is Air Force all over Fresno State.
Who wants chunky soup? Mom? Terrell, you gotta try this new chunky soup.
But Mom.
Chunky grilled steak with vegetables. With loads of lean steak. Grilled up right to get you filled up right.
Grilled steak.
Remind you of something?
The family cookout.
Which you don't attend anymore.
I work Sundays.
Introducing Campbell's Chunky Grilled Classics.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
What an afternoon for Mike Thiessen, the senior from Modesto, California. About 160 to 170 family and friends came from, well, the northern San Joaquin Valley area.
I think after the game he'll have more friends.
You bet. He's played a remarkable first half. Here's Bernard Berrien out to the 29-yard line, 56 seconds and counting. Thiessen, look at these numbers.
Boy, Mike Thiessen's numbers: 129 yards passing, rush, 8 carries, 54 yards, a deuce and a deuce for number 3. Boy, he's putting on a show for all his hometown folks. It drove an hour and a half from Modesto west out here to San Jose, and so far Fisher DeBerry taking a couple notes. I think all good.
Air Force showing blitz from the left side, and here he comes. Carr unloads, incomplete, intended for Rodney Wright. Broken up by Jeff Overstreet, the freshman who has seen more playing time for Air Force than any other freshman this year.
Nice job coming out of center field by Jeff Overstreet. And it's about timing. You just don't go and blast the wide receiver. You go up at the point of attack where the ball is coming. Jeff Overstreet that time, a nice job defensively.
They will split out. Harris Gaines to the right. Carr whips it left. Berrien will get the first down. Bernard almost broke it.
I'm not sure if they have an answer for Berrien.
Well, getting the ball out quickly is part of the solution. The times when we've seen David Carr struggle is when he's tried to make something additional happen once the first part of the play is broken down.
Well, Fresno State really got taken out of their offense early on with some turnovers. They came out trying to run the ball, and I think they're a more effective team with David Carr winging it around and throwing it to that man right there, Bernard Berrien, leading receiver for the Bulldogs.
Movement on the line of scrimmage. It looked like a wide receiver on the right side may have moved early.
But if you're off the line of scrimmage, you can flinch and get reset in college football.
Proud of the snap. Ball start. Offense. Put 47 seconds on the clock.
Again, coming up at halftime, Kevin Frazier, Kellen Winslow, Artie Gigantino will be talking about what took place first half, what's gone on around college football, and also live with Destiny's Child.
Now, is Artie one of the halftime dancers? and all of that.
We're picking on Artie. What about Kellen Winslow?
Well, Kellen hurt his knee a long time ago. He can't get down the way he used to.
Carr dumps it off Charles Smith. Smith gets to the outside and is pulled down beautifully by Tony Metters.
You always hear the terminology touchdown saving tackle. That time they had the picket line set up in front of Charles Smith. If he can just get past Tony Metters, I think he's in the end zone.
And how do they do it? Because Fresno State clearly has the speed advantage on Air Force.
You know, you would think that they have the speed advantage, but part of playing fast defensively is playing smart. You've had plenty of time to study these films. Their defensive coordinator, Richard Bell, has alerted them as to what this team likes to do. We've seen the quick screens, the rocket screens go nowhere because they've played it well. They've diagnosed it early.
And Richard Bell, the defensive coordinator of Air Force, told us they play fast. They are pressing the line of scrimmage. They are a faster team than they have been in the past. I'm thinking about this. What does Fisher DeBerry tell his troops at halftime? I guarantee he'll cite a history lesson for them. 1996. Take a look at Richard Bell. In 1996, Air Force came out and played at Fresno State. They were down in the first half 38-7. Well, guess what happened in the second half? Air Force came roaring back, won the game 44-38. And I guarantee you, Fisher DeBerry, he will cite that game at halftime and tell those guys, anything can happen. We got to keep the pressure on them.
The three of us watched the Saints and Rams yesterday and were amazed at the comeback ability of St. Louis. This is a big play offense.
Where's
David Carr is, well, they need to get Kurt Warner going, and he just did to Rodney Wright, and Wright breaks the tackle, and Rodney's to the 26-yard line for a first down. Carr says, fellas, let's get together. Let's stop the clock.
I'll use it after they stop the clock here. Is that it? Is he the guy that caught it? Go forward, Ed.
See, this is tough. They're ready to go on the officiating crew. Can't get the ball spotted. Got to let him out of there.
David slams it down. 1 second ticks away to 20 seconds left. But a big opportunity, Rams, like you talked about, the comeback by Air Force in '96. These guys have the weapons to do it in 2000.
Well, they do, but in game management, and that's one of the areas that Coach Pat Hill stresses during the course of the game, I just don't like to see the ball grounded after a big play of first down. Just line up and wing one down the field. You still need a couple big pieces of yardage to pick up. They let a couple seconds tick off the clock there, and they were waiting on the referees, as you said, James.
Well, the tough thing is they don't have a timeout, so they do need to work the boundaries or work the end zone.
Two deep zone. Carr pump fakes, goes deep, got him. Charles Smith dropped the football, just like he did in the stadium in their last game. The first 3 times Carr threw it to him. Almost an identical play.
Little tough adjustment for Charles Smith at the end of the ball. He'd like this ball on his inside shoulder. It comes to the outside, and those little 5'9" arms just aren't long enough.
Boy, I tell you, you know what? That was a tough catch. And if David Carr were to throw that ball again, he'd throw it right towards the middle of the goalpost and let Smith run after it. Right now, 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs.
13 seconds left, maybe 2 plays. Carr takes another shot, end zone, almost intercepted. Jeff Overstreet was the nearest Falcon to it. But David Carr, when he threw 3 to Smith in their last game in their victory over San Jose State, he dropped the first 3, and then he came back with 6 catches for 113 yards. So he'll go right back to Charles.
That's right. The play before, they got a coverage by Air Force. It was a quarter half, and the free safety didn't get over the top. That time, I tell you, it was good execution on the part of the free safety. He ended up getting over the top, playing more center field, and even pushed Carr's throw even further wide.
Well, they're missing Jeremy Johnson, their speed tight end. He's out of the ball game right now.
Greco is the tight end. Carr is sacked. Corine Nelson with his 3rd sack of the game. Air Force has a 34-7 lead with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Well, what's interesting, great coverage that time, but Charles Smith, watch him in the slot. He's going to do a little shake move, and he has a chance, but the pressure of Corine Nelson just too great on top of David Carr.
Air Force has to get an A+ in their first half. They have, well, every single coach has a keys to victory, and they have checked him right off. I mean, win the kicking game, check. Win time of possession, check. Win turnover battle, win penalties. They have just been perfect in the first half, led by Mike Thiessen, who has 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and he has helped Air Force to a marvelous 34-7 lead on the first Silicon Valley Football Classic. Right now, let's go to Eric Clemens, who's with the Air Force coach.
Well, Fisher DeBerry, it's been 6 weeks since you played. You ended the season on a hot note offensively, averaging over 40 a game. Looked like you picked up where you left off. Your assessment of the first half?
Well, I hope so, but, you know, doggone, we get down there in 4-down territory and we got 4th and 1 and can't make it. You know, that shows we got some rust. But I'm pleased with the number of points we got on the board. I'm pleased with the way that our offense is mixing it up pretty good. But, you know, we shouldn't have given that doggone big pass on that screen. Let them have some encouragement there and some confidence. But, you know, we got to keep pressing the kicking game, and we got to hold on that football. And if we can keep it out of their hands, then we might have a chance to win this football game.
Your primary message to your team at the break?
Well, our primary message is, by guys, keep on doing what we're doing, but just do it a little bit better this second half.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you in the second half. All right, the Nissan halftime report and Destiny's Child coming up at the half. I don't know who I want to see more, Kevin and the guys or Destiny's Child. Come back with us for the Nissan halftime report, everybody.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconf.com.
Do you have some ID?
Yes, I do. There you go.
Has anyone given you anything that you've had with you at all times?
I don't think so.
One moment, please. Here you go, sir. Gate G10. Thank you for flying Northwest.
Check in online at NWA.com.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor. After over 10 years, we still have a no-hassle, no-haggle pricing policy at Saturn. We don't yell offers from the highest tree. We don't play games. And we don't have promotions every other week. But that doesn't mean we don't compete.
Lease a 2001 Saturn SL1 for $199 a month for 39 months with 0 due at lease signing. Call for lease details.
Rush to Radio Shack for remarkable compact computer clearance deals inside. Every compact is on sale, from laptops to the exclusive Creative Learning Series. Designed to help your kids do better in school. Get up to $300 in rebates and savings. Sign up for easy, reliable MSN internet access from Microsoft and save up to $400 more. Hurry. Sale ends soon.
And this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, get a free printer when you buy a desktop computer and monitor, only at Radio Shack.
Hey, Keith,
Can you tell AC Green I'm ready when he is?
No.
Keith Olbermann Evening News tonight at 10.
34-7 in the inaugural Silicon Valley Classic. Air Force leads Fresno State as we get ready for the third quarter. Steve Fiziak, along with Tom Ramsey and James Lofton, and gentleman Dave Kellogg, who's the sports information director of Air Force, came in at halftime. He said, "This is the best the Falcons have played since the 1990 Liberty Bowl when they beat Ohio State." That's going back some time.
Well, I'll tell you what, so far they've executed like clockwork. They've really done a nice job running the double option and the triple option, putting a lot of pressure on the perimeter of that Fresno State defense.
And James, as we take a look at the stats, you see the running 190 yards by Air Force.
I talked to Chuck Peterson, the offensive coordinator. We're coming up the steps at halftime. I guess he was watching Destiny's Child also, but they've been able to run the ball, throw the football, but the no turnovers at the bottom. I think that's really the key. He said we've been able to operate on a short field, and anytime you can do that, you're going to be very, very successful.
And Tom, 10 yards rushing by Fresno State, 130 through the air, and 73 on one play.
Well, they wanted to come in and set a tempo with their offensive line and their rushing attack. 14 rushes, 10 yards, Steve, as you said, doesn't get it done against Air Force.
And right now, James, Mike Thiessen, the leading candidate for MVP, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, outstanding first half.
Anytime you get 157 tickets, you're going to play well. I saw Mike Thiessen before the ball game, and he had this serious demeanor about him. Sure, you expect that from a young kid in the Air Force Academy, but he was so focused on this ball game, knowing it's his last chance to play on a football field. Sure, he has a great baseball career in front of him, but this was his last attempt to be a collegiate football player. And the play that I like the best had to be the one down on the goal line where he does the helicopter. I love that.
Well, what is interesting about Air Force is there is a pecking order from freshmen all the way up to seniors. The seniors are the leaders. The seniors have all the touchdowns.
Well, the seniors, and Fisher DeBerry preaches it day in, day out at practice. The seniors are such a big part of this team, and they really have, they're the heart and soul of the team, without question. The freshmen that come into the academy, they take their lumps, but I tell you, the senior class right now putting on a showcase for everyone.
They have been outstanding, and we've talked about the offensive side, but James, their defense has read and really confused David Carr a lot in the first half.
Well, defensively, they came out in a 4-man front to start the ball game, switched back to the normal 3-4 look. They've done everything to perplex David Carr, the quarterback for Fresno State. Second half, Fresno State has to find some answers.
Well, Eric Clemens, he's been on the field, and he has seen the emotion shift side to side from Fresno State to Air Force. Let's go down on the sideline, and Eric.
Yeah, just talked to Pat Hill, and he told me coming onto the field that that's as dominated as his team has been since he got here in 1997. He told them at halftime, guys, we just got to get back to playing football, forget about the score, play all out. He said they were outplayed in all 3 facets of the game and outcoached in another facet. That makes 4, so he has some pride to play for and try to get back in this ball game for in the second half as well. Steve?
Air Force will receive the football in the second half. They have scored 34 against Fresno State. Leotis Palmer back deep, standing at the 3-yard line. And they go with the onside kick, and Fresno State hopping on that football.
They had the official point in the wrong direction.
It is Bulldog football.
That's the right direction.
Well, there's a start for Fresno State.
You know, you would think coming out for the second half, Air Force would be ready for just about anything. Well, they weren't thinking they were going to get an onside kick. Executed very well. That's caught right at about 11 yards, right along the boundary. Nice job by Juan Bautista, backup cornerback.
So David Carr has a short field to work with, just 54 yards away from pay dirt. Carr will run the football. Derek Ward spins and drives for about 6-7 yards.
Well, you got to like the gutsy call by Pat Hill. He's looking for David Carr to get heated up in the second half. 5 of 12, 130 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception early that really gave Air Force their first opportunity on the scoreboard. But I like Pat Hill's call coming out for the second half. Onside kick.
Carr looking downfield. Bernard Berrien right in his stomach. Can't hold on. It will be 3rd down.
It's obvious to say that he should make that catch. Berry come in, nice square in pattern. The ball's delivered. I could go down my list of excuses as to why guys drop balls. None of them would make Berry feel any better right now.
You got that list in your pocket, don't you?
I keep it. I almost thought about tattooing it to my body. I use them so often.
3rd down and 3. Carr throws the slant for Berrien. Incomplete. 4th down and 3. If you go for the onside kick to open the half, you go for it on 4th down.
Well, you saw it a moment ago. They were 1 for 6 in the first half on 3rd down. Not where they want to be. And Pat Hill electing to punt it away right now. And he's going to put the pressure on his defense. And I'm sure he questioned them at halftime and just said, hey, guys, it's up to you to get us the ball back on offense.
The most points scored in a half in any bowl that Air Force has played in. Bearcat, 14-yard line by Scott McKay. 38 yards in the punt. Great crowd here at Spartan Stadium in San Jose, California. Falcons a dominating first half, over 300 yards total offense. Mike Thiessen was their star in that first half. 129 yards passing, 8 of 14, threw for 2 scores, and both to the kid who grew up just 10 minutes from this stadium, Santa Clara. The fullback, Becker, carries, or the fake to the fullback, and they will sweep it to McKay. Fresno State with their best defense really in a while.
Check out their running by direction. 17 carries, 99 yards to the left. 4 carries, 65 yards to the right, and then the fullbacks do the dirty work up the middle. 14 yards, 28 carries. That may not be impressive, but that's what keeps the defense honest, plugging the ball up the middle.
Why only 4 to the right side, Rams?
Well, you know, they've gone into the short sideline quite a few times, so Air Force has not gone to the wide field, which I think, in terms of game plan, has been a great call on the part of Fisher DeBerry.
Giacchino Chiramonte with an excellent play, so it's 2 plays for Air Force. Both have gone backwards, and the Bulldogs with a nice start.
Well, right now, Fresno State has to get their 3 linebackers involved. Chiramonte right there. He fights off the block. He's able to stay right on top of Mike Thiessen. They want the ball in Thiessen's hands, but you got to corral him. And in the first half, he ran the option at will.
Well, I think it's time for defensive coordinator Kevin Coyle to just roll the dice. Come after this guy. 6, 7 guys, send them all.
They're bringing Orlando Huff. They throw the screen, and it is incomplete. Huff read it beautifully, number 49. He was chasing Scott Becker.
Well, it appears Pat Hill's decision to punt the ball on 4th down there was a good decision. And remember, Fresno State has blocked a lot of kicks as well.
When we were at practice on Friday, I've never seen a unit practice blocking the ball and scooping it up longer than what Fresno State did. That's a pretty tight punt alignment right there in the middle. They're going to try and really hit off the corners hard.
Dante Marsh is one of their best punt blockers. He's on the right side, number 27. They do pick him up. It was partially blocked. It hits at the 30. Charles Smith will let it roll, and the Bulldogs will have excellent field position. Lawrence Deck got a hand on it, just 31. Check it out. Here comes the hand. Just did tip it.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconf.com.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
Watch the glass.
She was.
Bolder, richer, creamier. Killian's Irish Red. One look says a lot.
Air Force with 34 points to Fresno State 7. Their defense held the Bulldogs to just 10 yards rushing in the first half. But Fresno State has their best starting field position of the game after a 31-yard punt. Now from the 36 of Air Force. I formation. David Carr to the air. Charles Smith first down out of bounds near the 24-yard line.
Good safe throw, getting a little timing and rhythm between quarterback and receiver. And you know, you have to keep an eye on the clock the entire second half. If you're Pat Hill, he really prides himself on being a manager during the course of the game as a head coach and really focusing on game management, but clock management as well.
Berrien stays in the game. He's wide receiver right side. They will run the football to Derek Ward, and he punishes them to the 10. Derek Ward to the 8, first and goal, Fresno State.
Now remember, Fresno State brought about 15,000 people with him, so there's a lot of red shirts in the crowd, and that's what Pat Hill's hoping. They just get a little fired up and get behind the team.
You talked about their 2 running backs, Paris Gaines and Derek Ward. Well, Derek Ward is the more physical back. He's going to pound you. 5'11", 230 pounds. He missed 5 games during the year with a knee injury. He's healthy now.
And he was fabulous last year, freshman All-American, gaining almost 900 yards rushing, under 200 this year. Play action, Carr, end zone, incomplete, intended for Charles Smith. The coverage came from Joel Bulow, who had an interception in the first quarter that led to an Air Force score.
Bulow stride for stride that time with the receiver.
But if I'm thinking about running that route, what I want to do is I want to go to the far corner of the end zone, have the quarterback drop the ball over the top, meet him at a specific destination. It almost looks like he's running that pattern, hoping that he's going to get open instead of going to an open spot on the field.
Charles Smith, 5'7" junior. One of the greatest receivers in Fresno State history, having a rough game. Now in motion, they will run Charles towards the 5. He fumbles the football. And it appears the Bulldogs will get it near the 2-yard line, but Bulow stripped Smith. And that is the second time and a reverse in this game that a receiver has fumbled.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, if they saw something on film, but this is just a nice play by Bulow. He misses the tackle, and then he rips at the football. If you can't get the man, why not go for the football? Because if you take that ball away from him, he's going to stop. Remember when you're a little kid on the schoolyard, there's only one ball, you say, okay, we're going to play, but I'm going to get to pick teams because I have the ball. Well, Bulow said, if I have the ball, I get to pick the teams.
Got some wild dog here tonight. 3rd and goal. Derek Ward is the halfback. Ward written down beautifully. Boy, they smelled that play out. C.J. Zanotti from Bay City, Michigan on the tackle. Led the team in tackles with 84 this year.
You're down by 27 points. A field goal would put you down by 24, but I think kicking a field goal here be like throwing in the towel and saying, well, we'll take what we can get, not what we want. They want 7 points here.
I agree. They had to punt it away after they recovered the onside kick. Now's the time to put points on the board. You can't wait any longer. The clock is your enemy.
They're going with a heavy load look. They bring in the fullback Tim Osborne. Play action David Carr, loops end zone. Caught Alec Greco, but there is a flag down.
I think you got holding initially, and then you could almost call Al Greco for pushing off a little bit. He's just trying to get loose from Tony Metters. Metters was holding him. He had him.
On the defense. Penalty decline. Touchdown.
Well, they rolled the dice and they came up snake eyes. Came up 6 points is what came up. There's that crowd, that sea of red. Starting to get into this. They got something to cheer about right now.
How about this extra point formation? Do you like it? Yay or nay for you?
Nay.
just more practice time for you, huh?
More practice time. Just line up, kick it.
They've got to have a great 2-point play off of it, though.
You know, James, I always wanted to get off the field early.
Touchdown to break.
Extra point is good. Fresno State has cut it to 20, 34-14 on their second possession of the second half. Carr to Greco, 6 points.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconf.com.
Do you owe back taxes? Don't let the IRS scare you. The law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch will help you settle all back taxes, levies, liens, and penalties, and will help stop your IRS nightmare now. In fact, the law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch are so confident they'll pay you $250 if they can't settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Call the law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch now.
Call 800-356-2929 for your free initial consultation. This is a limited time offer, so call now. 800-356-2929.
If television was like the internet, you'd probably never watch it. But what if the internet could be more like TV? It is. With At Home, the internet is always on.
You're always connected. You're always on. You never have to dial up. You'll never get a busy signal with At Home.
There's no way I would ever go back to a dial-up service.
Call today to join more than 1 million subscribers and get the most complete internet service available for your home. Call now to order.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Well, Pat Hill said execution fuels emotion, and right here, this is what Fresno State does on 4th down. Fake into the line, and Carr spins it out to his tight end Greco, and able to come down with the ball, and right there's a little emotion from Pat Hill.
Pat had to wait, though. He saw the flag and says, oh no, I hope it's not against the red. It was against the blue, the Falcons, and now Valerio Brown on the kickoff return. Brought down at the 27-yard line, and the Bulldogs need to do what their defense did before, 3 and out. Let's go down on the sideline to Eric Clemens.
Well, if Fresno State, guys, is going to make a huge comeback, they're going to have to do it without their redshirt freshman tight end, Jeremy Johnson, who injured his right shoulder about midway through the first half there. He will not return in the game, but I tell you, if momentum can change with a team trailing by 20 points, it appears Fresno State has some, guys.
And they need to hold on to it, Eric, with a defensive stop. Again, they had the Falcons going backwards on their first offensive possession of the second half. Thiessen, option, again they go backwards. They stretched out beautifully, and again it was Giacchino Chiramonti. Well, guys, tomorrow the 65th Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic continues its storied tradition on Fox Sports as number 11 Kansas State takes on number 21 Tennessee at 11 Eastern. Ringing the new year with exciting college football Full game action on your local Fox affiliate. Tom Brenneman, Dave Lapham, Tim Green will be there to bring it your way. Tennessee, after a struggle start, they've won 6 in a row. Thiessen in trouble. Scrambles out. This kid's incredible, and he dives for a first down. Late hit by the Bulldogs. They'll get 15 more.
I don't like the flag. Thiessen, when he breaks the pocket, he becomes a running back, and that is right around the boundary. Both defensive players left their feet in play. Thiessen's not running out of bounds. He's running up the field.
Mike Thiessen definitely is running up the field.
See, no. Not even close.
James, I argue. The first player pushed him out. The second one laid out. That's Bryce McGill. Bryce McGill, he knew he was heading out of bounds, and I think it's a safe call.
Had not stepped out of bounds when he was hit.
I know who doesn't like the call.
His foot is above the border of the out of bounds, but he had not stepped down out of bounds, and that's normally when you get the call, when someone's running on the white stripe.
Tom Ramsey, a quarterback. James Lofton, a former quarterback that turned wide receiver. Always wanted to get back at that position. Thiessen, ridden down by Chiramonte.
One player we talked about having to get involved in the first half. When they played Rice earlier in the year, Fresno State, Orlando Huff, the outside linebacker, he only had 7 total tackles against Rice. 1 unassisted tackle, 6 assisted tackles. Rice plays a very similar offense, option-style offense, as does Air Force. And you got to get involved and make plays. They really have to put the corral on Mike Thiessen.
But if I'm a smart offensive coordinator, I stay away from Orlando Huff, who I think is the best defensive player on the field tonight.
They run the fullback Beard. He hammers his way to the 40-yard line, still a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Now, you're not going to see 300-pounders playing tackle for the Air Force Academy, because these guys, when the season's over, they got to get that body weight down, that body fat down. Here's Huff in a stand-up position, 2-point stance. You get attacked at the legs. You have to fight guys off your legs to get involved with the play. He fights through it, and he gets one arm, just enough to force the runner wide so his teammates can come up.
3rd and 2. Again, the fullback, Nate Beard, and he appears to get that first down. Jake Probst on the tackle, the defensive end from Midway, Utah. But time of possession, Air Force, last 3 games dominating, 37 minutes over 23 versus their opponent. And they're grinding the clock down here, 8:09 in the 3rd.
Well, they're grinding the clock, but how do you neutralize good players? James, you said you'd stay away from Huff. Look at the line splits right here. They're 3 foot wide, and they create space in that offensive system of Air Force.
Giving Thiessen room. Huff has to chase him down, but not before he gets 8 or 9 yards.
What ends up happening when they go wide side of the field, they tighten the line splits down. It becomes a double option read for Mike Thiessen. Look at how much shorter the spaces are here than over here on the left side of the line. Air Force knows exactly what they're doing. This is great execution on their part. They neutralize good players like Huff right there, unable to make the tackle. 9 yards down the field.
Great call, Tom, because it certainly got Huff away from all of the action. Play action. Thiessen deep for Fleming. Incomplete. Where's the flag? My goodness, I thought Fleming was really held up, and you could see him limping. Eric Clemens told us about that quad that he pulled in practice this week. There is finally a flag down, and it came out very late in the end zone, but quite frankly, Rams, it looked like Fleming was being pulled down from about the 5-yard line in.
You know, normally you see the officials, and they want to huddle up separately. Here you got the officials right in the middle of all of the Fresno State players, and you're still going to get pass interference against Fresno State. Very late call, and when you have a receiver as big as Fleming, 6'5", 220 pounds, you've got to be physical with him. And I like what Deck is doing. They're both looking back at the football. They're fighting for the football. This ball is going to land down in this direction. Fleming can't fight his way back to the football. That's not Deck's fault. Deck has established good position.
I don't don't think I would have thrown the flag. I thought there was enough jostling on the play. One referee saying incomplete. The back judge tosses the flag. Either way, first down, Air Force.
I thought he was mugged. I think he was mugging back.
You know what? Because you're a GQ guy. You're dressed well. Your shoes are signed. Look at Ramsey's shoes down here. They still got mud on them from a couple of weeks ago.
That was just in pregame warm-ups today.
Option left. The pitch out of bounds.
Boy, he hasn't been around the ball a lot, but every time he's around it, Vernon Fox, he comes with what Mike Tyson called bad intentions. Seeing him just come and just lay people out. That time, he forces Thiessen into a very uncharacteristic error, throwing that ball away on the toss.
Vernon Fox, this year a first-team All-Western Athletic Conference selection. Last year, he led the team 103 total tackles. He'll come up and force some issues.
That'll bend your face mask, making that many tackles.
Yes.
Second and 10. You see that double wing. They'll go left again. That has been the majority of their offensive scheme. Scotty McKay knocked down. Not much. Again, Vernon Fox. Probably was the first time in his life that his name has been mentioned with Mike Tyson, but brought up by James Lofton.
And I like Vernon Fox running this play down from the outside, but on the outside. Marsh beats the block by Fleming, and this is an intense ball club. Look at Pat Hill. He knows we cannot give up 7 points here. I don't want to give up 3, but he figures if I can force him to kick a field goal, we've had such success blocking kicks, maybe we got a chance in that area.
They need a stop here. They send Brown in motion. They'll run the reverse. McKay eludes the outside, cuts in, and gets it to about the 7-yard line where Tim Skipper makes the tackle.
James, let me ask you this. Before that snap of the ball, Fresno State appeared to be in a loose defense. They're not forcing the line of scrimmage. You said stack up 9 guys. I agree. Put 8 and 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. Make Mike Thiessen throw the ball to Ryan Fleming to beat you.
I think they may be afraid of Ryan Fleming in the red zone, though, with his size.
Now Dave Adams, who has made almost 85% of his field goals this year from 24 yards out.
It's gone.
Got it. 37-14. Air Force stretches their lead. 5 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the third quarter as Dave Adams makes his 22nd field goal this year in 27 attempts.
Called a fairway, Jane. Let's see if you can hit it.
So, liking the new job?
So far,
whoa,
so good.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I got to get to the airport.
Oh, well, you know, we could check your flight from here. 3 hours delayed.
You know, I should probably get back and check the inventory.
Well, you know.
You can do it right here, huh?
Hey, you think that thing can help me find my swing?
No.
Someday, at a job interview, they'll ask, do you work well under pressure? Try not to laugh.
Football Today delivers the ultimate news program devoted to the NFL and college football scene. Weekdays at 6.
Şimdi güzel şehrimiz Diyarbakır'a hoş geldiniz. Evet, yarışmacımız Yaşar yürüyor. Yaşar hazırlanıyor. Mükemmel bir atlayış. Atladı. Çok güzel bir atlayış. Herkes şaşkın. Atlayıştı. Evet, omuz ve baş sallama. Evet ve Yaşar görünüyor.
Welcome back to San Jose, California. I'm Steve Physiak with James Lofton, Tom Ramsey, and Eric Clemens. You're watching the Silicon Valley Classic on Fox Sports Net as Air Force battles Fresno State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action. Bulldogs believe they're back in it. They've cut Air Force lead to 17 points. Our Aflac trivia question, who is the last NFL first-round draft pick from Fresno State or Air Force? He played today. Rams, who is he?
How about that quarterback from the Baltimore Ravens, Trent Dilfer? Boy, I tell you, representing the San Joaquin Valley well in Fresno State. Played tough against
and the Ravens won 21-3.
Man,
I tell you saw that wild touchdown that Trent threw to Sharp, and he went around the right side and scored the touchdown.
I tell you what helped Dilfer out today, though. A guy named Sam Adams, Tony Saragusa, about 350-pound lineman.
Pretty good cornerback there, J.D. Williams.
Yeah, you were mentioning Trent Dilfer. Well, J.D. Williams was their last first-round pick. He was one of my teammates with the Buffalo Bills and came in and he started 4 Super Bowls in a row. His first year through his 4th year. Tremendous speed. I saw him at practice the other day. I picked him up. I said, J.D., you put on a couple of pounds.
He can still run. A better 40 time than you.
I know that. Don't rub it in.
Alan Harper.
I think the tough thing now for Air Force, everything worked so well in the first half. Every play that you called worked to perfection. Chuck Peterson, offensive coordinator, I jokingly say, well, what are you going to do now? Everything's worked. He kind of laughed at me. When you have success and then you go without success for a while, once again, those seeds of doubt can creep in on any team. Fresno State needs to do something that they have not done this evening. Force a turnover. They are -2 against Air Force. Thiessen will run it. Brown. That's the 20-yard line. It'll still be 3rd down.
And once again, that's the efficiency of that offense that Fisher DeBerry and Chuck Peterson know how to run so well. Chuck Peterson right there, the offensive wizard calling the plays. And he shared something with us the other day. Take a look at the total yards this quarter. He says Thiessen, a lot of times when Chuck sends in the plays and they run each play individually, a lot of times Thiessen will tell him after the game, I knew you were going to call that play in that situation. Right now, Fisher DeBerry just looking for a 1st down.
They need 5 and 3rd down. Thiessen will throw. Pressure's on. He fires. Complete. 1st down, Brian Labasco. Flag down. Was there a late hit? 17 yards in the completion.
Saw Scotty McKay pointing in the direction of Fresno State, and you're going to get roughing the passer on Alan Harper, number 98. You're just so anxious. You want to get at him. You can feel him. You can smell his bad breath, and you want to hit him. And that's late.
That was sheer frustration right there, and that is too good of a player to make that mistake. Alan Harper's too good of a player to do that.
I say at every broadcast, you'll get beat mentally before you will physically. 2 personal fouls in this half have aided the Air Force Academy in picking up a 1st down and now giving them excellent field position and kind of a boost as the 3rd quarter winds down.
And how about this? 8 penalties for Fresno State. Air Force with 1. Air Force with the lead. 17 points. David Carr got it going to Derek Ward and then threw to Donnell Birch. Just got into the end zone for his 1st touchdown.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconf.com.
It's a place where cowboys still roam the range, where falcons soar and cougars prowl. It's a legendary place where the ram and the wolf are equals, and the spirit of the rebel is joined by the hearts of ancient warriors. It's a place where winning or losing is not as important as where you play the game. The Mountain West Conference.
If the way it's made doesn't convince you, or the durability, or the safety, or the comfort, or the performance, or the way you're treated, if all that doesn't make you want to buy a Saturn, no offer will. Of course, we could be wrong.
Get APR financing as low as 1.9% on all 2001 models.
You know, you never know when you're going to get injured and miss work. That's why I have that supplemental insurance.
What supplemental insurance? Aflac.
It's one that pays you cash for things like lost pay and other expenses. What one? Aflac. Just ask about it at work, all right?
What did you say it was?
Aflac!
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Well, Fresno State has outscored Air Force 13-3 in the third quarter to get back in the game, but they need a defensive stop here. Thiessen just completed a pass on 3rd and 5 for 17 for the first time for the first down. Then he was roughed, so they have the football all the way to the Bulldog 45. Mike Thiessen, the sophomore from Modesto, California. He was tackled by Tim Skipper, the smallest linebacker in college football at 5'7". What a wonderful young man. I know you talked to him, Rams and James, on Friday when we were at the Bulldog practice.
Boy, Tim Skipper really can deliver a blow for a guy. Now, James would probably call him 5'5", and he might be right. 215, 250-pound senior. But I tell you, Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator, said, you know, they came in, looked at Tim Skipper, they thought, oh, we're going to end up replacing him. Well, he's ended up being the heart and soul of that Bulldog defense.
Scotty McKay dives to the 40, and another flag goes down. This might be the second penalty in the entire game against Air Force.
Andy Malin, the tight end, just grab him, wouldn't let go of him. Moline. All these guys spelling their names wrong.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Okay, this gives Fresno State a chance.
You bet it does. All of a sudden, lack of execution on the part of Air Force really benefits the Fresno State defense here. Now someone has to step up with a big play. I would imagine one of the safeties have to come out. Watch Vernon Fox. He may end up blitzing on this play.
He does. Almost got to Thiessen. They complete the pass to Brown. Colario gets the first down. How many times have they had 2nd or 3rd and long and got just enough?
A run pass recognition. The safety's got to make the call. Vernon Fox comes. All of a sudden, Brown is going to sneak out here. And that's just a great throw and catch. Quarterback to the running back / receiver. And Dean Campbell, the running backs coach for Air Force, told me, he said, you know what, our backs, A, they have to be able to block. Secondly, they have to be able to catch the ball. And then they need to be elusive.
I just think the different looks by Air Force made Vernon Fox hesitate enough. He didn't get there on the blitz in time.
Thiessen keeping it, gains 4. Orlando Huff on the tackle. Devon Banks was there. Well, at Air Force, they not only have a superintendent, they have a 3-star general who is their superintendent, Lieutenant General John Dallier. We had a chance to meet John the other day at a dinner for Fresno State and for Air Force. Very proud. But he's very proud of Mike Thiessen, the quarterback. Remember, this past year, Mike was the deputy commander during basic cadet training, responsible for more than 1,000 cadets. I mean, the responsibility they put on these kids. Mike said there was no football during that time, just 16 hours of work. But he loved it.
Ball out.
They said he was down. Air Force was down.
Oh, we're going to get a unsportsmanlike call on Devon Banks, number 19. He's frustrated. He thought the ball came out, and then he spiked the ball in the field of play.
He's watching too much NFL football.
Watching those old clips of Tom Ramsey.
Yeah.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Spiking the ball. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Poise.
That's 3 big calls this half against Fresno State as they're trying to get back in the ball game. His knees have not touched the ground. It is a fumble, wasn't called. And there's the reaction by Devon Banks to frustration, and the flags filter out after that. And now he's going to get a little bit of it in the ear.
9 penalties. J.D. Williams right there with him saying, son, you gotta play smart. A penalty led to the last 3 points. We are inside the 4th quarter. Now Dave Adams' leg, such a difference. Air Force leading by 17. With Adams, it's an automatic 3 this close. Calario Brown inside the 10. He is still on his feet. They need to get to the 5 for a first down, a gain of 7.
I saw Calario Brown on the field before the game, a little bit bow-legged, shoulders are a little round, and I watch him play, and he's always spinning and turning. And I'm wondering if a guy with bow legs just happens to turn better.
I couldn't answer that.
But he has a certain swivel about him. You can even see it, just a little bit bowed, the shoulders around it. See that? He can't put them together. The knees won't touch.
He's so bow-legged that when he sits around the house, he actually sits around the house. Here comes Mike. This time read beautifully by defensive back Dante Marsh. Second team all whack.
Air Force trying to stretch the field again. Thiessen will pitch this time to Leotis Palmer, and Palmer, they're expecting him to come up big next year, but that's a nice play by Dante Marsh coming from that corner position. Marsh has played very well. 3 interceptions on the year, 8 career interceptions. He's a second team all whack selection as well.
3rd down, 7 to go. Wing right. Thiessen fires it away. No flag for intentional grounding.
It should have been a flag for intentional grounding. And we see a little like Hanky come out at about this 15-yard line. He's saying this ball did not go beyond the line of scrimmage.
Was he outside the hash, Rams?
No, he wasn't. And the referee was awfully close to throwing the flag right here. See if he's outside the tackle box. And sure enough, he was outside the tackle box. And I believe that's why the referee let it go. It's really for the protection of the quarterback.
Well, he had a little skipper on his back, too.
Yeah.
His little buddy.
Tim Skipper, the linebacker. Dave Adams has made all 3 of his attempts. Long from 46. This will be from 30. It is blocked. Bishop DeBerry took his hat off and slammed it to the ground. Still, Air Force leads by 17 with just inside 11 to go.
Boy, great job by the Fresno State special teams. Watch him go up in the air right here. Gets awfully high up. Terrence Brown, a reserve free safety, skying. Watch, he just gets a good leap right there. The ball comes off Adams' foot.
And that's a lot of commitment by Terrence Brown, because you're not landing on a foam pad to go up and do that.
No, but you are landing on the back of Alan Harper.
Yeah, but
he's a pretty big guy.
Not enough padding on his back, though.
Carr back, throws it to Rodney Wright. Wright escapes and gains about 8 yards, but Rams right now, the scoreboard is no longer the enemy. The clock is. Air Force took 6 minutes and 6 seconds off the clock on that last drive, even though they did not score.
Missed it by that much, about an inch.
But he had the ball in that right arm, and he can't stiff arm.
Yep.
Guys who can carry the ball in each arm, you can use that other arm to stiff arm, get somebody away from him.
James and I looked at each other after that play. I mean, that was almost a jailbreak to the house.
They get the first down to Bernard Berrien.
See, now,
he is out of bounds.
Yeah, and the official
There's
reached for
a
the flag
flag.
late. And you know what, he looked up, he saw the white jerseys, but then he glanced up into the stands and he said, a lot of white, red fans up there. Maybe I should throw the flag here. Fisher DeBerry's going, hey, this is our sideline. You don't call that on our sideline. I don't understand what the conversation is. I mean, if you pull it out of your pocket and throw it because you figure that they've committed a personal foul for a late hit, you mark it off.
Dead ball, personal foul, on the defense, late hit out of bounds, first down.
Third penalty against Air Force.
It's it right along the boundary. And see, he's stepping out, and that's the same play as Mike Thiessen. Now, you hear it in the NBA about makeup calls. That's not a makeup call. I'm not going to call it that. But if you called it against Fresno State and the runner was in the same position, you have to make the same call regardless of where you are on the field and what portion of the game it is.
Credit for consistency.
And your eye shadow looks bad. You need a makeup call, James. 37-20 Air Force. David Carr. Berrien. Bernard. Gone.
Boy, you know what started all this when Fresno State blocked that kick. That was their 7th block this season. They had blocked.
It's about emotion, doing something that you do really well, and Bernard Berrien got a chance to play more this year when Charles Smith and both Rodney Wright were out with injuries, and that playing time is paying dividends right now.
Well, Berrien came in the #1 receiver for the Bulldogs, and right there, they got him the ball, and he delivered.
Fresno State has cut it to 10. They still have 9:58 left in the big arm of that young man, David Carr.
It's called a fairway, Jane. Let's see if you can hit it.
So, liking the new job?
So far,
Whoa.
so good.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I got to get to the airport.
Oh, well, you know, we could check your flight from here. 3 hours delayed.
You know, I should probably get back and check the inventory.
Well, you know.
You can do it right here, huh?
Hey, you think that thing can help me find my swing?
No.
Never before, and maybe never again. January 13th, Bank One Ballpark. TheWrenchHand.com Monster Jam. Brought to you by Ford Trucks and Diamond Shamrock. It's the most monsters Bank One Ballpark's ever seen. Featuring the battle between 2000 World Champions Goldberg, Gravedigger, plus Quad Wars. And kid seats are just $8. Monster Jam. January 13th. For the first time ever. Bank One Ballpark.
If television was like the internet, you'd probably never watch it. But what if the internet could be more like TV? It is. With At Home, the internet is always on.
You're always connected. You're always on. You never have to dial up. You'll never get a busy signal with At Home.
There's no way I would ever go back to a dial-up service.
Call today to join more than 1 million subscribers and get the most complete internet service available for your home. Call now to order.
Welcome back to San Jose, California. I'm Steve Fisiak with James Lofton, Tom Ramsey, and Eric Clemens. You're watching the Silicon Valley Classic on Fox Sports Net as Air Force battles Fresno State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action right after this message.
Catch the excitement of the city of Las Vegas and the 2001 Mountain West Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, March 7th through 10th at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. 8 men's and women's teams will each compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship crown and an automatic berth into the 2001 NCAA Basketball Championships. For ticket information, contact your favorite Mountain West Conference institution's athletic ticket office or visit our website, mountainwestconference.com.
Hi, I'm Rick from Empire Glass. Let Empire Glass replace your cracked windshield and we'll still pay up to $100 of your comprehensive insurance deductible. And we'll now give you 24 free dinners to Sweet Tomatoes, the ultimate salad buffet restaurants, with any windshield replacement. So for the highest in quality windshields, including free mobile service, up to $100 off your comprehensive deductible, and 24 free dinners to Sweet Tomatoes, call Empire Glass today at 602-952-9339. When you think glass, think Empire.
If television was like the internet, you'd probably never watch it. But what if the internet could be more like TV? It is. With At Home, the internet is always on.
You're always connected. You're always on. You never have to dial up. You'll never get a busy signal with At Home.
There's no way I would ever go back to a dial-up service.
Call today to join more than 1 million subscribers and get the most complete internet service available for your home. Call now to order.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
2-minute offense.
7:01 to play. Fresno State down by 10. 37-27. Verizon has presented 1st and 10 all season long on Fox Sports Net college football. Verizon making the world of communications a whole lot simpler. David Carr through the air. Bernard Berrien. He's got the first down. Fresno State was down by 17 points. David Carr the other day was watching videotape of Air Force's game against Notre Dame. That was a game Air Force came back from 18 down against Notre Dame to tie it up, send it into overtime. They would lose. David Carr knows down 17. They've got a chance now. 37-20 was the score at the end of 3. Again, they go sideline. Rodney Wright with the catch at the 49. Second half possessions, 3 straight touchdowns. 6 plays, 7 plays, 3 plays.
Now, Air Force hadn't turned the ball over yet, but the onside kick and also the blocked field goal almost act as turnovers because you don't get possession of the ball, you don't get points when you give the ball directly to Fresno State.
Fisher DeBerry said the keys: win the kicking game, win time of possession, win turnovers, win penalties. They have done all but the kicking game in the second half.
Berrien, he might be gone again. He is.
The big play Bulldogs. 51 from David Carr to Brad Berrien, Bernard Berrien.
I really believe this. Fresno State is at its best when they're in spread offense. They're letting those receivers get vertical. They're putting the pressure on the defense right there. Bernard Berrien taking it all the way to the house.
Well, they have more depth at receiver than they do at running back, and playing these 3 wide receivers obviously has been to their advantage, and they spread Air Force out. It's a worried look by Fisher DeBerry.
Good. Can you believe this? Fresno State down 34-7 at halftime. And they are right back in it with 6.5 minutes left. Carr to Berrien. 51 yards later, the Bulldogs believe.
You gotta have hope. You gotta have hope. Without hope, life is meaningless. Without hope, life is meaningless and less. You gotta have hope. You gotta have hope. You gotta have hope. You gotta have...
How was your business trip to Chicago?
Good. How was your week off?
Great. My friends and I went to the beach.
Really?
Yeah, we rented from Hertz.com. Found their best rates, special offers, and it was real easy to use, too.
Maybe we should try it this weekend.
We.
Rush to Radio Shack for remarkable compact computer clearance deals inside. Every compact is on sale, from laptops to the exclusive Creative Learning Series. Designed to help your kids do better in school. Get up to $300 in rebates and savings. Sign up for easy, reliable MSN Internet access from Microsoft and save up to $400 more. Hurry. Sale ends soon.
And this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, get a free printer when you buy a desktop computer and monitor only at Radio Shack.
Well, David Carr and Fresno State, they execute great here. It's a three-step drop, but watch, he's going to throw it right between the throwing lane. Linebacker and another linebacker.
Yeah, but
dropping.
you can have the throwing lane, but Jeff Overstreet, number 13, he has to come up and make the tackle. You can have the catch, but you need the tackle made. Comes up, bad angle, and he just misses. Throw your body in there, commit to it. He's only a freshman. You talk about being low on the totem pole. They're going to drag his butt in the shower.
Well, Air Force will have to try and wrap things up here. They're slammed down at the 20. We have an inspired Fresno State team.
They're playing inspired ever since they blocked that kick. When Terrence Brown blocked that kick, it was his 8th career block, 4th this season. He set the momentum in the Bulldogs' favor, and all of a sudden they've played their hearts out on special teams.
But I think both coaches, aggressive by nature, Fisher, DeBerry in the first half, going forward on 4th down, and then Pat Hill to open the second half, onside kick when you're down by 100 points. Both very courageous.
As you said, right at the opening moments of third quarter, James, you said the difference is attitude. Becker with a short gain here, and again, it is skipper number 51, number 99 to Beatty Lockhart. And look at the change from the first half to second half. 244 for the Dogs, 105 for the Falcons.
But the Falcons still trying to spring their fullback. You'd think if you were in pro football right now, you say, why are they running the dive play? Well, this Air Force offense predicated on releasing their fullback up inside. If they got that fullback dive working, the rest of that offense is working.
Thiessen pitches, Brown, nothing. And look at the emotion after the tackle. This is great college football.
I would love to be able to go on one of those big old needles that they send in your body and suck some of the adrenaline out of the Fresno State players and then suck a little bit out of the Air Force players. The Fresno adrenaline meter is a little higher than the Air Force meter right now.
The mad scientist lofted. Dallas Thompson, the last time out, a 24-yard punt. I tell you, it didn't help that Air Force defense. They were on their heels.
3rd and 9. Thiessen dumping it off. Brown, he gets the first down and more.
There are those legs working again.
Those bow legs.
Boy, that's just a great piece of running right there. You know what? Nice, safe throw. A short throw at that. A crossing route. Distinguished man or zone. All of a sudden, you had the DB in the chase position, Thiessen to Brown, and let him run.
What we don't see very often from the Air Force runners is guys tippy-toeing out of bounds, taking the easy way out. They get along that sideline. They're cutting back in, also trying to get every inch they can because this is a battle. These guys, you talk about the combat training, this is easy stuff tonight.
Thiessen will keep it. And he sprints through. Thiessen first down inside the 35-yard line.
You know what? The adrenaline meter may be in the favor of Fresno State, but
momentarily,
the pulmonary meter is off the charts with Mike Thiessen.
You know, you watch option quarterbacks and you think, well, how come that guy didn't tackle? How come the next guy didn't tackle? They just run through the shoulder tackles. You must wrap up. Thiessen's an extra running back, and they're also milking this clock down, but they still need to score.
Right there is big Nick Burley, the defensive end from East Palo Alto High School, grew up nearby San Jose.
You know what Fisher DeBerry likes so much about the biggest asset of Mike Thiessen? He has a heart of a lion.
Yeah.
Anybody who can go from 13 Out of 14 quarterbacks they have to #1 and have the kind of season he has, well, he has Fisher DeBerry's highest regard. 2nd down and 8. Bulldogs still have not forced a turnover. They give fullback, and they get it to the 28-yard line. Scott Becker, senior from Granger, Indiana.
You know, we've seen a lot of hard physical play in this ball game. A couple of personal fouls by Fresno State, but what we haven't seen, and I love it, we haven't seen the jawing after the play from neither one of the teams. In Fresno State, they have attitude. Air Force has attitude, but it all ends when the whistle blows.
3rd down and 4. The fans are up and roaring. They call time. And Thiessen wisely waited for the clock to go all the way down to 1 second before taking the timeout.
And James, you made a great point. It is a clean game, and I tell you what, a lot of class on the field. I think it's really a result of the two coaches, Pat Hill, Fisher DeBerry, great leaders respectively of their own squads. But you know, a guy like Scotty Becker, the fullback, Rhodes Scholar candidate, wow.
2.5 minutes to play. Well, on the field, they're invincible, but off the field, they're all too human. Fox Sports takes a look at the athletes you thought you knew. Deion Sanders had the world at his feet until his demons dragged him down. Find out how he regained control as Beyond the Glory takes you inside the hidden world of sports' biggest stars. Beyond the Glory, a new series premiering next Sunday at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Well, Fresno State, if they get the football back, they could go beyond the glory, because this would be the greatest comeback in the history of the school. A bowl game against a power like Air Force, and down 34-7 at the half. They still believe. Who let the dogs out?
Well,
Pat Hill just did.
Biggest 3rd down of the night for Air Force. 3rd and 4. Do you give it? I tell you what, I fake into that fullback. They've seen the fullback a few times on this drive.
Midline option.
Midline option. Inside keeper. Mike Thiessen handles the ball.
So that midline option is cut up before he would get to the tight end area.
Fullback, 1st down.
Wow, and they give it to Scotty Becker. And Scotty Becker, as he crosses that Verizon 1st down marker, you know, you talk about citizenship, you talk about the character of the Air Force cadets. Scott Becker right there, the fullback, getting the biggest 1st down. He won an $18,000 scholarship from the National Football Foundation and Hall of Fame chapter. The selection criteria: superior academic performance, outstanding football ability, strong leadership, and citizenship. And that's a huge 1st down for him.
They run the fullback again, Scott Becker. And here's the situation, Rams. 2:07 and counting left. Fresno State just used their 1st timeout. I wanted to know, you're big on clock management. How do you call your timeouts as Air Force progresses down the field?
Well, easy, because Pat Hill just called one, and that's when you have to call one. You stop them on 1st down. Now you got to leave it up to your defense, James, and those guys have got to step up. You got to stack 9 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the other thing that you would realize, Fresno State, you're thinking, okay, we have 2 timeouts. We're going to call them after each play. Air Force is not going to risk running to the perimeter and getting knocked out of bounds. So they're going to want to cut it up early. And I also defensively would look for the fullback lead and also the quarterback midline option in between the tackle running.
And right now, a field goal is not what Fisher DeBerry is looking for. He knows the striking power of Fresno State. They can go the length of the field in 1 play.
Now, with that said, do you then go for it on 4th and 3?
I do.
You don't kick the field goal?
I don't.
You don't have a coaching job either.
That's true. And I'm not interviewing for one, so I'm next to my 2 buds here, man.
No pain, no gain.
That's right. I always say no brain, no headache, too.
And this game is causing a lot of headaches for both sides. Wow. Pat Hill, proud of his team and the comeback. He has all of them coming back. He's got 71 of his 80 players coming back next year. for Air Force.
Time to try and strip the ball out.
Play action. Thiessen scrambling, looking, throwing. Vernon Fox had it in his hands, almost picked it off. Incomplete. 3rd and 9.
Sometimes you become too much of a passer. Not that Mark Thiessen would ever read his press clippings, but he drops back, and this guy can run. We've seen it all day long. He's as tough as nails. Number one, if he runs the ball, the clock continues to run, or Fresno State has to use one of their timeouts.
And he had a big lane there to pull it down. Although, you know, you go to your big receiver, your clutch guy all the time, Ryan Fleming. Right now, 3rd and 9 for the Falcons.
Ryan Fleming, right side. Will it go the big guy's way? Thiessen is sacked. Timeout. Maybe out of field goal range. Timeout is called with 1:47.
Who's the player that ran up to the referee and called timeout? Tim Skipper. Tim Skipper, the defensive leader of that Bulldog defense, the heady veteran senior. He's been all whack 3 years in a row. Really the heart and soul of that Bulldog defense.
Fresno State, they have seen a lot of painful memories in the stadium because this is the home of their arch rival San Jose State. Tim Skipper, he was part of the victorious 37-6 victory over San Jose State earlier this season. But there was a game back in 1986 where Mike Perez brought San Jose State back from like 15-16 down in the 4th quarter to beat the Bulldogs.
And right now, I agree with what Fisher DeBerry's going to do right here. He's going to pooch kick it. He has his punter, Dallas Thompson, out on the field. The challenge is for Air Force to protect. Now remember, the whole momentum shift started when Fresno State blocked the field goal earlier in this half. You have to protect, get the kickoff, but pooch it enough to make them go the distance, make them go the long field.
And if you're Fresno State,
they just had 12 guys on the field and came out of it. Could have had a flag there.
Your Fresno State, don't let happen what happened to the St. Louis Rams yesterday.
And they're in spread formation.
Well, they can't go for it. You need to get inside the 13-yard line to get a first down here. I bring pressure off the corner.
He pooches it. And it is caught by Charles Smith at the 8-yard line, precisely the area where Hakeem fumbled for the Rams in their loss to the Saints after their incredible comeback. But inside the 10, they tell you, let it go. Hey, are you ready for an Olbermann fix? Sunday Night Sports just got a whole lot better with the Keith Olbermann Evening News. 10 o'clock. It wrapped up the week's events and takes a look forward as to what is ahead. The Keith Olbermann Evening News tonight after the ball game, only on Fox Sports Net. Bulldogs believe they were down 34-7 at halftime if you just joined us, and they have rallied tremendously in this second half. 1:41 to play. Paris gains to the 15, needs to get to the 18 for a first down.
You almost need to stop the clock here if you're the officials because the Air Force guys aren't unloading the plane fast enough.
Well, doesn't that mean Carr has to go sideline?
Not in college football when you get the timeout with your first down.
But they don't have the first down. They go over the middle again. They do get the first down, but just to the 20-yard line. That will stop it with 1:11.
Clock will stop just long enough to reset the chains. You got to have your play called on the line of scrimmage. If you're Dave Carr, he's had a great junior year, and I'll tell you, he has the ability, we talked about it all game long, to strike with this dangerous core of receivers.
Bernard Berrien incomplete. They got it in between that zone, the corner, and the safety. And here's a guy, David Carr, who only completed 5 of 12 first half passes. He's now 20 of 31. 20 of 31 for 351 and 5 touchdowns. Well, they've got a young man from Bulgaria who is their left-footed field goal kicker, has a marvelous leg, Asen Asparuhov. Longest field goal this year has been from 43. touchdown. Clock stops at 53.
Well, we've had a player of the game in the first half, and that was obviously Mike Neeson. Player of the game in the second half, Bernard Berrien. He's been impressive. I would expect another big play from him because he has the defensive backs nervous right now.
They'll stop the clock with the spike.
That's almost a backward spike, though. The quarterbacks have to be pretty careful when they spike that ball. He's almost throwing that ball backwards.
They're putting 2 seconds back on the clock for Fresno State. The reason the Bulldog faithful are cheering.
Hey, Rams, how about this second half by Carr? 16 of 20 for 240 yards and 4 touchdowns. Here's the spike. Wow, that is almost
close. That's borderline.
Oh, stop, James. We got a great finish here. Let's don't spoil it. Carr, pump, in trouble. Flags down everywhere. David will throw. Where did you see the defensive holding, James?
No, they were grabbing on to number 17, Rodney Wright, and just thinking, because he ran a stop and go, and when he started to go, they decided to stop him again.
Boy, they were releasing all up on that play too. They really had their guys flying up the field. David Carr signaling, that's what it is.
Do you use the middle of the field in your timeout before you're setting up that penultimate play for the field goal?
I think you have to use the middle of the field to get a big chunk of yardage. I think the way that they can pressure up the field vertically, Fresno State, they got guys that can run up the sideline. Send Rodney Wright down the middle, number 17. I'll tell you, he's as good in space as any player they have. And you have the threat of Bernard Berrien on the one side. He'll take 2.
And Charles Smith, number 18, runs well after the catch.
On a defense, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run.
From the end of the run, that is a huge penalty. You get the 8 yards that your quarterback David Carr gained for you, and then you tack on another 10 yards.
And all that only took off 10 seconds off the clock. They still have 42 seconds.
Now you have 50 yards of field to play from the 40-yard line. Steve knows a go route, a deep bomb, is caught at about 45 to 46 yards.
And right now Charles Smith is in that slot.
Carr fires. Rodney Wright at the 20-yard line. Yesterday, Carr said he thinks he's the best slant route runner in college football.
Get down near the red zone. I always favor having a big target. Saw our tight end earlier, Alec Greco, sneak into the back corner of the end zone. Also saw Donnell Birch catch one.
They down. Stop the clock with 35 seconds left. How about this play by Rodney Wright and David Carr? Big time arm.
Great timing, great release by Rodney Wright. He has some quicks off the line of scrimmage, and then he just goes up and gets it.
But if you're Crawley, he's doing that little dance in front of you. Hit him in the throat. Just go. No, defensive backs, they start at the chest and they slide to the throat.
You know what? This is a family show, James.
You wasted a down here by spiking the ball.
You did.
Ramsey, earlier in the ball game, he said you need to have a play ready.
Yep.
They might as well have thrown to the end zone on that play.
Charles Smith in the slot. David Carr will run. Now he may have to take his final timeout.
He can get up.
You only have 2 downs.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
why not the timeout here?
I don't understand it. Don't spike the ball here. Fake spike.
Oh, no.
What is that?
No,
now it's
going
4th down.
Now,
Go to overtime.
Dangerous play call, and not the right play call by David Carr. Remember this now. James knew it. We all knew it. 3rd down, you don't spike the ball. Now you have 4th down, and you got to get into the end zone. You
kick
got
the
4th
field
and goal.
There is no question here.
Yeah, you have no choice. You have no choice. You just burned your only chance. You save your timeout for that field goal team to come out.
You had 3 downs.
Take the timeout.
You had 3 downs, 2 spikes, and a quarterback scramble. Not good clock management by David Carr. Granted, first-year starter, but hey, this is game number 12.
Watching too much TV again. See, that spike play, I could do without that. You know, the football was around a long time. I wonder what Vince Lombardi would say about the spike play. I don't think it'd be in his playbook.
I don't think he would have had it.
No. Maybe on a special occasion.
Gentlemen, it's the new millennium.
Yeah.
You know, you kick this field goal, all is forgiven. You get a chance to play in overtime.
Exactly. He got him to the middle of the football field.
Now, we've talked about...
My only question was, why not the timeout to stop it with 26 seconds left?
We've talked about Fresno State being able to block kicks. Now, once you've blown it and you're headed to fourth down, why even leave 14 seconds on the clock?
So the kid from Bulgaria, the 6'5" junior, Asim Asparuhov.
Now, you're about to ice him again.
He will attempt a 33-yard field goal. Air Force with 9 block kicks, the second most in Air Force Academy history. They have had 68 in this decade. Corine Nelson is the guy who is their main block artist, 9 in his career.
That's right, Corine Nelson.
Corine Nelson.
DeBerry right there.
Corine Nelson majoring in psychology. You think he asked for this timeout? Get into the head of the kicker a little bit?
Why not? And there he is, Asim Asparuhov.
Asparuhov was a JC transfer. They found him out of Grossmont JC down in Southern California. They've done such a good job.
But he came here from Bulgaria.
That's right.
Yeah, well, he was working full-time at JC. He's glad he's got his scholarship. Doesn't have to work full-time.
Hey, fellas, tomorrow we've got more great action. The 65th Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic continues with number 11 Kansas State and number 21 Tennessee at 11 Eastern. Ring in the new year with the Cotton Bowl on Fox. Here on Fox Sports Net, what a great Silicon Valley football classic we've had. Now from 33 yards out, Asparuhov. They fake and throw. Oh my goodness.
He had 2 men open. He threw the ball in between Donnell Birch.
You know what I think? I think what led to that decision, I think your kicker was sitting there. It's a cold night.
No.
I don't think he was prepared for it. Sure. I mean, otherwise, put it through the uprights. They did have 2 guys wide open. Missed him. Chiramonte, the linebacker who was the up back. But you're asking a guy who doesn't throw the ball ever. Jason Simpson, the punter. You know what?
And look at Donnell Birch saying, I was so wide open.
Target. Find the guy who's, 6'5", 300 pounds, who used to be a wide receiver.
Know your personnel.
Know your personnel.
Heck of a ball game, though, fellas. Heck of a comeback. Air Force survives. Most of these kids go to combat survival school. They went to another one here in San Jose.
Boy, what a great game.
Well, Fisher DeBerry went to his 11th bowl in his 16 years at Air Force. Wins this one, beating Pat Hill 37-34. We almost went to overtime. Fresno State tried to win it in regulation. Instead, the Falcons by 3. And Fresno State will finish their year at 7-5. Air Force goes to 9-3. Mike Thiessen is the most valuable player offensively in this football game. The Air Force quarterback, Tim Skipper. Fresno State is the defensive MVP. Let's go down on the sideline to Eric Clemens.
Well, Fisher DeBerry, let me pull that hat up a little more gray up there after this one. A 37-7 lead, and almost saw it go away. What have you ever been involved in this? You've been around a long time, 38 years. Have you ever seen a game like this come down to this?
Yeah, we played them over there in 1995 and 96, and we were down 35 to 7.5 and came back and won the game in overtime. And, you know, it's never over till it's over. But, you know, bowl games are supposed to be exciting. Bowl games are supposed to give the spectators their money's worth, and I think they got their money's worth tonight. We obviously didn't do a very good job kicking the ball there in the second half. I thought we probably played a little conservative, but you got to give Fresno State's kids a lot of credit. By goodness, they came back and played. But I'm very proud of our kids, and I'm very proud of our coaching staff.
One thing, last play there, they're in the field goal position. What are you thinking? Are you thinking watch the fake, or were you a little surprised by Pat Hill calling that fake field goal?
Well, I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. We had them all going after it, I'll tell you, so it was a great call on their part. They just didn't execute it, unfortunately, but, you know, they've got all the crowd here. Personally, I would have probably, you know, kicked the field goal and hoped to have gone in overtime and used the crowd because they certainly had the momentum, you know, there at the end of the game. But it was a great game, and you got to give them a lot of credit in the way they came back, but I'm certainly proud of our kids.
Sum it up, you. I got 25 seniors who came in, played their last games for you. You're looking ahead, of course, to next season. And tell me a little bit about your recap of this season and the way it ended for you with 4 straight victories.
Well, I got to be real proud of our team because, you know, they deserve a lot of credit. After we lost to Notre Dame by 1, we came back now and won 4 and averaged, you know, 40 points a game. And you know, it made it exciting, I guarantee you. But, you know, at the beginning of the year, we were picked to be anywhere from 4th to 6th in our conference. We had the fewest number of returning starters of any team in the conference. And so our goal was to win the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, which we did, and to be in a bowl game, which we did, and to win a bowl game. And we didn't win a conference, but we beat the conference champion. So I'd have to say that I'm very, very proud of this football team and very proud of the job that our assistant coaches did.
Fisher DeBerry, much continued success to you.
Well, we were honored to be here in this bowl game. I think it's going to be a bowl game of the future, and we're just proud to be the champions of the first inaugural Silicon Valley Football Classic.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you and your team. Fisher DeBerry, head coach, Air Force Academy. What a college football season it's been. A lot of people complain about the BCS and so forth, but hey, we're going to have a good national championship game coming up in a few days, and we certainly had a great inaugural Silicon Valley Classic. Now let's send it back up to Kevin Frazier and our